The world is filled with unsolved mysteries that challenge our understanding of the past. How did ancient civilizations move massive stone blocks without modern technology? The secrets of long-forgotten ruins raise questions about the knowledge they left behind. Legends of forgotten gods and impossible maps spark curiosity. Were they true or merely products of imagination? From Siberia to Egypt, mysterious traces of the past make us question what we know. Some structures aligned with stars and technologies ahead of their time prove that ancient people possessed remarkable knowledge. As you embark on this magical journey through the pages of history, let us pause at one of the greatest symbols of antiquity, the Pyramids of Giza. When the first European researchers, such as Jean-Baptiste Lamarck and Napoleon Bonaparte, began to acquaint themselves with this colossal structure, they could not help but feel awe at the grandeur that these stone giants represented. Imagine standing before the Great Pyramid of Khufu, marveling at its scale and wondering how this building, towering at 146 meters, could have been constructed without modern technology. For nearly 4,000 years, it remained the tallest man-made structure on Earth. And these are not just numbers. They are a testament to human ingenuity and perseverance. You can feel the wind on your face as you envision thousands of workers laboring on this project, using not only their physical strength, but also their ability to work together to create something monumental. You can sense their energy and passion for construction etched into every stone used to build these pyramids. It is astonishing that the geometric precision of the Great Pyramid of Khufu continues to amaze even modern architects. Imagine that its alignment with the cardinal directions has an error of less than 1.5 degrees. This is a masterpiece of craftsmanship that continues to astound scientists and researchers. As you gaze upon these magnificent structures, you realize that they were not built merely as tombs for pharaohs, but as symbols of eternity and divine order. Each stone seems to come alive, whispering tales of ancient civilizations and their pursuit of greatness. You can picture the sun's rays dancing on the surface of these massive blocks, creating a mesmerizing play of light and shadow, as if the gods themselves had descended from the heavens to bless this creation. As you immerse yourself in this awe-inspiring sight, you notice that the atmosphere around you fills with ancient wisdom, as if the earth itself has absorbed all the knowledge and mysteries that have ever existed. In this silence, you can hear the echo of footsteps from those who once walked here, looking up at the stars and dreaming of eternity. You can feel your heart filled with peace as you listen to this ancient whisper of history, and perhaps you will even find yourself wanting to ask questions about what truly happened here in these sacred places. As you continue on your journey, you realize that every detail of these pyramids, every crack, every gleaming stone, is part of a larger picture that continues to unfold, drawing you deeper into the mysterious and magical world of antiquity. You continue your magical journey, delving into the engineering mysteries that confronted the ancient builders of the pyramids of Giza. Imagine yourself in the heart of Egypt, under the scorching sun, as thousands of workers gather to execute an ambitious project that will awe the minds of people for centuries to come. Each stone block used in these magnificent structures weighs up to 80 tons, and you find yourself curious about how such massive stones could be moved from their quarry to the construction site. Researchers have proposed several theories on how this was achieved. One of the most popular hypotheses suggests the use of wooden sleds, onto which the stone blocks were placed. Workers could have wetted the sand in front of the sleds to reduce friction and facilitate movement. You can picture them pulling the sleds in unison, sweating under the hot sun, each knowing that they are contributing to the creation of something great. Other scholars propose that some of the blocks could have been transported by the Nile River, using special barges that navigated the calm waters. You can almost hear the sound of the water and the cries of the people steering these rafts, imagining them carefully maneuvering between the coastal rocks. But as soon as the stones reached the construction site, the builders faced a new challenge: how to lift these heavy blocks to great heights. Various theories exist to explain the methods of lifting. Some researchers suggest the use of straight ramps that gradually ascended to the peak of the pyramid. Others propose a more elegant solution: spiral ramps that wound around the structure, allowing workers to easily move the blocks without excessive strain. There is also the hypothesis of internal ramps that allowed the stones to be lifted directly from within the pyramid as it was being built. These ideas are based on thorough research and even experiments, where modern architects and engineers have attempted to recreate these methods to better understand how the ancient builders achieved their remarkable results. You can feel a sense of awe as you imagine people over the centuries trying to solve these mysteries, conducting experiments, and seeking answers to questions that seem as eternal as the pyramids themselves. Each stone, each step, and each effort was part of a grand dance of human ingenuity and perseverance. There is something truly magical about this process, making you wonder how much remains unsolved and how history continues to whisper its secrets to those who are willing to listen. You continue your magical journey, delving into the mysterious world of the internal structures of the pyramids of Giza, where each chamber and corridor holds secrets waiting to be revealed. Within these magnificent structures, created by ancient Egyptians, you find a complex network of passages and shafts leading to grand halls such as the King's Chamber and the Queen's Chamber. You can imagine yourself passing through narrow corridors, feeling the coolness of the stone walls and hearing your footsteps echo in the silence, reminding you of the thousands of years of history enclosed within these walls. The King's Chamber, this sacred burial place, is located at the heart of the pyramid, and you can almost feel its grandeur as you illuminate its space with your imagination. A tall sarcophagus carved from a single block of granite stands in the center of the room, and you can picture it once being the eternal resting place for a pharaoh, surrounded by symbols of power and divinity. Meanwhile, the Queen's Chamber, more modest in size but no less mysterious, offers you the chance to ponder the roles of women in ancient Egypt. You can sense its atmosphere filled with mystery, wondering who was buried here and what stories it could tell. Between these two chambers, you discover the Great Gallery, a magnificent corridor that smoothly ascends to the summit of the pyramid. Its walls are adorned with mysterious symbols and reliefs, and you can imagine ancient priests passing through here, reciting prayers and rituals, striving to connect with the divine. Modern research methods, such as muon tomography, have opened new horizons for understanding these ancient structures. In 2017, as part of the Scan Pyramids project, scientists used cosmic muons to penetrate the pyramid's depths, revealing previously unknown voids and corridors. You can feel a thrill as you picture these invisible explorers, the tiniest particles, passing through the stone walls, uncovering new mysteries that have remained hidden for millennia. Each new discovery adds a new layer to our understanding of how these magnificent structures were built and how they served not only as tombs, but also as places where the earthly and heavenly realms intersected. You can ponder how ancient architects and builders were able to create such a complex structure using only primitive tools and technologies that seem distant from our reality today. This enigma, this connection between the past and the present, makes you consider the endless human ingenuity and the desire for knowledge. The internal devices of the pyramids, with their chamber systems and corridors, become not just architectural solutions, but symbols of an eternal enigma that humanity continues to unravel, walking in the footsteps of ancestors who once dreamed of immortality and greatness. You can allow yourself to pause for a moment to feel this connection, this thread of time that stretches from antiquity to the present, and understand that each pyramid is not just stones, but a whole universe of mysteries, where you can get lost in exploring, reflecting, and dreaming. As you delve deeper into the enigmatic world of the Giza pyramids, where mysteries extend beyond their magnificent stone walls, you feel history, encased within these monumental structures, becoming increasingly layered. It is widely accepted that the pyramids served as tombs for pharaohs, places where they could find eternal rest and unite with the divine. You can imagine these sacred sites acting as transitions between the world of the living and the world of the dead, where pharaohs, surrounded by symbols of power, embarked on their eternal journey. However, for instance, researcher Robert Bauval proposed that the pyramids were aligned with the Belt of Orion, a constellation that held special significance in ancient Egypt and was associated with the god Osiris. You can picture clear nights when stars shine brightly and ancient priests gazed at the celestial glow, seeing in it reflections of their gods and ancestors. This astronomical connection adds a new layer to our understanding of the pyramids, as if they were not just tombs, but also observatories for tracking the movements of celestial bodies. You can feel your imagination carried back to times when people used stars to predict seasons and holidays, creating harmony between the earthly and the celestial. Another researcher, Graham Hancock, suggested an even more extraordinary hypothesis, proposing that the pyramids could have served as energy sources due to their shape and materials. You may ponder how ancient Egyptians could have harnessed knowledge of geometry and magnetism to create structures that generated power, much like modern energy systems. This idea that the pyramids were not just tombs, but also important tools for the development of civilization evokes a sense of awe and admiration. The pyramids may have been places where science and spirituality intersected, leading to countless discoveries. Each of these theories paints a unique picture in which the monumental structures of Giza become symbols not only of power, but also of humanity's quest to understand the world around us. You may allow yourself to ask, what else might be hidden behind the granite walls? What other mysteries await discovery? This thought leaves you in a state of deep reflection as you continue your journey through this extraordinary place, filled with stories and mysteries that have inspired and puzzled researchers for millennia. You notice how each of the three main pyramids is positioned with remarkable precision, pointing to key astronomical events and constellations. For example, the Great Pyramid of Khufu, magnificent and imposing, is precisely aligned with the north, inspiring awe at the thought of how the ancient Egyptians could achieve such accuracy without modern technology. This pyramid, like the others, was built with such skill that its angle of inclination is approximately 51 degrees, which also has a certain astronomical significance, corresponding to the angle of the Earth's tilt and its axis of rotation. You can imagine the builders of the pyramids standing under the open sky, using their knowledge of the stars to create such monumental structures, which were not only architectural masterpieces, but also astronomical observatories. You become curious about how these ancient people, without telescopes or instruments, could observe the movement of celestial bodies, recording their positions and creating star charts. You feel as if they could celebrate important astronomical events, such as the winter solstice or equinoxes, which were crucial for agriculture and religious rituals. It seems that the pyramids serve not only as tombs, but also as time capsules, preserving knowledge and observations passed down through generations. You can sense the magic of this knowledge when you imagine priests and astronomers gathering under the stars, exchanging ideas and observations, striving to understand the laws of nature and their own existence. This connection between the heavens and the earth, created by the pyramids, fills you with a deep sense of respect for the intelligence and wisdom of the ancient Egyptians. With each step, you delve deeper into thoughts about how they achieved such a level of understanding of astronomy, using only simple tools and their observations. You wonder what other secrets may lie hidden behind these granite walls, and what knowledge may have been lost over time. You feel a sense of calm and admiration when you picture the ancient rituals and ceremonies that could have taken place here, under the watchful gaze of the stars. Each of these thoughts creates in your mind an atmosphere of deep respect for the past and for those who sought to understand and explain the mysteries of the universe, as if they were the link between the world of humans and the world of gods. All these reflections, like a gentle breeze, sweep through your consciousness, filling it with a world of mysteries and discoveries that continue to attract the attention of researchers and seekers of knowledge even thousands of years later. You allow yourself to be immersed in this stream of thoughts, noting how they flow smoothly into one another, like a river flowing through time and space, carrying you into the world of the ancients, where astronomy was not just a science but a sacred art binding people to the cosmos. You continue your extraordinary journey, and your attention is drawn to mysterious technologies that could have been used in the construction of the pyramids of Giza. You notice how smooth, polished surfaces of the internal blocks, reflecting light, create a sense of another era, another civilization that might have possessed knowledge and skills beyond the reach of modern humans. Research by engineers like Christopher Dunn reveals the enigmatic aspects of these monumental structures. Dunn points out the remarkable quality of stonework, which seems incredible for the time of ancient Egypt. You feel his research makes you ponder what tools could have been used to create such smooth and even surfaces. It seems as if ancient masters had access to technologies that were lost or forgotten over time. You can imagine them working with stone, using methods that remain a mystery to contemporary archaeologists. With each step, you delve deeper into thoughts about what these tools might have looked like, perhaps made from materials we haven't discovered or correctly interpreted yet. These anomalies noted in the research evoke a sense of curiosity and wonder. You notice that many of these features, such as tool marks, appear more advanced than those attributed to the era of ancient Egypt. You become intrigued by how it is that contemporary science cannot explain these phenomena using standard archaeological methods. You can picture scientists examining these artifacts, puzzled by how ancient Egyptians could have achieved such a level of craftsmanship, and perhaps even concluding that their technologies were far more advanced than previously thought. You feel this realization expands your horizons, and time seems to lose its boundaries as you consider the possibilities that might have existed in the distant past. This connection between past and present becomes a source of inspiration and a drive to understand how complex and multifaceted our world is. You feel your consciousness fills with respect for those who built these pyramids, who sought to leave a mark on history and pass their knowledge to future generations. These thoughts float like clouds through your mind, creating an atmosphere of deep connection with history and culture that remains a mystery. You can allow yourself to be part of this journey, as if floating above the ages, observing how knowledge and technologies intertwine in the tapestry of human history. You continue to delve into the world of ancient Egypt, and suddenly you encounter a mysterious phenomenon known as the Curse of the Pharaohs. This concept is shrouded in mystery and doubt, and you feel as if it adds even more mystique to the already enigmatic pyramids of Giza. Rumors of the curse began to gain popularity after the tomb of Tutankhamun was discovered by Howard Carter in 1922. You can imagine the excitement and anticipation of the archaeologists as they opened this ancient burial chamber, filled with treasures and secrets created by people who lived thousands of years ago. However, soon after this event, a series of tragic incidents began. Lord Carnarvon, who sponsored the excavations, died under mysterious circumstances, and rumors of the curse surrounded his death. You feel the tension in the air and the fear that grips people as they speak of the possibility that pharaohs may have left behind evil spirits ready to avenge those who dare to disturb their peace. These stories of curses evoke a sense of ancient magic that permeates every stone of these magnificent structures. You ponder how superstitions and fear of the supernatural could have influenced the perception of archaeological findings, transforming them into something more than just historical artifacts. However, scientists studying this phenomenon raise an important question. Do curses have a real basis, or are they merely a product of human imagination? You can imagine the researchers trying to find scientific explanations for these terrible events. Some suggest that ancient bacteria or mold found in the tombs could have caused illnesses in those who opened the burial chambers. This idea fills you with curiosity. How might ancient cultures, perhaps instinctively, have protected their sacred places from outsiders by creating images of curses and magic? You feel as if the curse of the pharaohs becomes more than just a tale, but a part of a broader picture where science, history, and mythology intersect. This phenomenon, like a ghost, hovers over the pyramids, adding an aura of mystery and attracting the attention of researchers from all over the world. Your imagination paints pictures of archaeologists who with reverence open the doors of ancient tombs, and at the same time, with caution, fearing that each new discovery may bring consequences they do not even suspect. This connection between science and mysticism seems to never end, and you feel as if the mysterious stories of curses continue to live in people's hearts, whether they evoke fear or admiration. You allow yourself to be immersed in this atmosphere, realizing that every word spoken about curses creates a soft whisper in the air, as if the ancient Egypt itself continues to speak to you, revealing its secrets only to those who are willing to listen. You feel as if your attention is drawn not only by the history, but also by the emotions it evokes, and how these moments of connection with the past become a source of inspiration and reflection on what truly lies behind the veil of time. You feel as if time stands still, and around you, a silence filled with anticipation reigns. The pyramids of Giza, these majestic sentinels of antiquity, continue to captivate researchers, archaeologists, and history enthusiasts. Despite the fact that more than a century has passed since the discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb and the commencement of active excavations, numerous questions regarding their construction, purpose, and hidden aspects remain unanswered. You can imagine groups of scholars gathering in the shaded corners of the pyramids, discussing their findings and sharing hypotheses that are often as mysterious as the structures themselves. These discussions become a true journey into the unknown, where each new idea can open new horizons of understanding. You feel the atmosphere of research is charged with excitement and anticipation, as if the ancient pharaohs themselves are watching you, ready to reveal their secrets to those who demonstrate patience and genuine desire for the truth. Scientific debates do not cease, and you can picture researchers discussing various methods used to study the internal structure of the pyramids, including modern technologies such as radar tomography and infrared imaging. These tools allow us to peer behind the facades, uncovering secrets that have been hidden for thousands of years. Each new discovery fills you with inspiration and wonder, as it can challenge our conventional views of the ancient world. How were they built? What was their true purpose? These questions, like magnets, draw your attention, making you ponder how much more there is to learn. You feel a slight tremor when you imagine the secrets hidden within the stone, waiting to be revealed. And here, amidst the sand and sun, you realize that the pyramids of Giza are not just historical monuments, but living symbols of human curiosity and the desire to understand our place in the world. This connection to the past, this thirst for knowledge, like a warm breeze, envelops you, filling you with energy and calm. You allow yourself to immerse in this atmosphere, and in your mind's eye, images of ancient builders emerge, perhaps laboring here, filled with hopes and dreams of eternal life. Their efforts and creativity continue to live in every stone, in every crack of these monumental structures. You feel the bond between past and present, between science and mysticism, creating a unique symphony of knowledge that resonates in your thoughts. In the end, it is this enigma, this eternal intrigue, that makes the pyramids of Giza one of the most significant and unsolved ancient structures on the planet. You are transported to the vast, endless deserts of Peru, where, as if the heavens themselves have descended to earth, mysterious lines of Nazca stretch out before you. This place, shrouded in mysteries, once remained hidden from human eyes, concealing its secrets beneath a blanket of sand and sunlight. You feel the scorching breath of the desert as you imagine how these giant images, carved into the earth, remained invisible to those living nearby for centuries. A warm breeze whispers past you, speaking of ancient cultures that created these remarkable geoglyphs, but only from the height of a bird's-eye view do they reveal their full splendor. From the early morning hours, when the sky is still playing with a soft pink light, you can feel the sky becoming a field for the first aviators who, rising high, discover something extraordinary. The first pilots who flew over Nazca in the early 20th century were struck by the size of these lines and forms, which seemed no more than simple strokes on the ground until they saw them from above. You can imagine their surprise and awe as these images, like giant paintings, unfold before them, revealing not only whimsical animal figures, but also geometric patterns that seemed impossible to create without meticulous planning and enormous effort. They see how the lines intersect and connect, forming complex and harmonious shapes that stretch for many kilometers. You feel the spirit of adventure take hold of you as you ponder how these ancient artists used their knowledge of astronomy and mathematics to create such stunning works of art that remain a mystery to this day. Each geoglyph, each line seems like a spell, ready to reveal its secrets to those who show patience and a desire to learn more. How did they create such massive images using simple tools and without the ability to observe the results from above? This question continues to puzzle scientists and researchers, drawing them into endless debates and hypotheses. You picture them gathering under the stars, discussing their discoveries and sharing their impressions. In that moment, you understand that the lines of Nazca are not just art, but an example of human ability to create beauty that transcends centuries. Each step on this land, each drop of rain that once fell on these lines, fills you with a sense of connection to those who lived here before you. You can almost feel their inspiration as they watched the stars and breathed in the scent of the desert air, creating their masterpieces that continue to inspire wonder and bewilderment. The Nazca Desert, with its endless expanses and mysterious lines, becomes for you not just a historical monument, but a living testimony to human creativity. The desire to know and the wish to leave a mark on the world that can be seen even from the heavens. You immerse yourself in these thoughts, allowing your mind to wander freely among the stars and lines, surrounding yourself with an atmosphere of magic and mystery that permeates this unique corner of the planet. You continue your journey through the mysterious expanses of Nazca, and your attention is drawn to the variety of figures that seem to be carved into the heart of the desert. You see how proportional images of animals, such as a graceful monkey with long fingers reaching towards the sky, as if trying to catch the stars, are spread out on the ground. You can almost hear the wind whispering its story, filled with myths and legends passed down through generations. Nearby, a hummingbird appears to hover, its wings spread in swift flight, its small body seeming light and elusive. You feel the scent of flowers in the air, which could have attracted this extraordinary bird. Then your attention is drawn to a spider, its elegant legs stretched out on the ground, giving the impression that it is ready to pounce. It is remarkable how these figures, each of which can reach hundreds of meters in length, maintain their clarity and detail despite the distance and the time that has passed since their creation. You notice that every line and curve is so precisely measured that it raises questions about how ancient artists could achieve such accuracy. How could they create such large images using only simple tools and without the ability to see the result of their work from a height? For you, this becomes a mystery that awakens your imagination. You also observe numerous straight lines and geometric shapes that stretch for kilometers, forming triangles, trapezoids, and parallelograms that seem to lead into infinity. These lines, as if connecting Earth to heaven, create the sensation that they were drawn by an invisible hand with a clear understanding of how this magnificent art should look. You feel your mind being overwhelmed by the grandeur of this place and how it awakens in you the desire to learn more about its secrets. Each figure is not only a work of art, but also a mathematical expression that frames human perception and knowledge of the world. You feel how extraordinary geometric forms and animal images become symbols of humanity's desire to understand and capture its connection to the surrounding world. You can imagine how these lines and figures were conceived and created, how they were part of rituals that linked ancient peoples with the cosmos, filling their lives with meaning and purpose. You allow yourself to delve into these thoughts as the sun slowly descends on the horizon, coloring the desert in warm and soft hues, creating a magical atmosphere where every stroke and line becomes a part of your journey, filling you with a sense of unity with this extraordinary place. In this moment, you understand that the lines of Nazca are not just a geographical phenomenon, but a reflection of the human soul striving for knowledge and expression. You continue to explore the mysterious world of the Nazca lines, delving into thoughts about how the ancient inhabitants of these lands could create such monumental works of art. Imagine them, armed with simple tools, venturing onto the scorching earth of the desert. They likely used primitive implements to remove dark, oxidized stones from the surface and expose the light soil protected from the sun's rays. Each step was deliberate, each movement reflecting their deep connection to nature and the surrounding world. But how could they achieve such astonishing precision and scale without the ability to see their creations from above? This remains one of the most intriguing mysteries that scientists have been trying to solve for many years. You can picture them using celestial bodies or natural landmarks to create these massive figures, but the details of this process remain shrouded in mystery. For instance, Joe Davison conducted experiments in which he tried to recreate the Nazca lines using simple tools and methods similar to those available to ancient artists. He encountered incredible difficulties in maintaining the scale of his drawings, highlighting the complexity of this task. While he tried to accurately reproduce the sizes and proportions, he noticed that it was challenging to maintain the correct proportions with limited resources. This research raises important questions about how ancient artists could visualize their creations without access to aerial perspectives. Perhaps they used long ropes or other methods to mark lines and angles, but this idea remains purely speculative. You can feel your imagination painting pictures of these ancient artists, focused on their work, their hands covered in dust, and their faces filled with determination. Each line they drew became part of their cultural heritage, part of their desire to leave a mark on history. You allow yourself to lose yourself in these thoughts, feeling as if time here, on these sacred lands, seems to stand still, and the sounds of the desert, the whisper of the wind, become your only companions on this journey through the ages. Your soul fills with awe at the grandeur of the human spirit, which finds a way to express itself even in the harshest conditions. You notice a faint aroma in the air, reminiscent of distant times and stories that once unfolded here on this land. where the lines and figures will forever be etched in human memory. You continue to explore the mysterious world of the Nazca Lines, and your attention is drawn to the various theories that researchers put forward in an attempt to decipher their purpose. One of the most prominent figures in this research is Maria Rieker, who devoted decades of her life to studying these unusual geoglyphs. She believed that the Nazca Lines could have been some kind of astronomical calendar, indicating important astronomical events such as solstices and equinoxes. You can imagine how ancient civilizations, tracking the movement of the sun and stars, used these lines to determine the time for planting and harvesting, which was critically important for their survival. Riker noted that many of these lines are precisely aligned with the points of sunrise and sunset at specific times of the year. This would not only be an astonishing achievement, but also a profound expression of humanity's connection to the cosmos. However, besides astronomical theories, there are other versions that pique your interest. Some researchers suggest that the Nazca Lines could have served as ritual paths along which the ancient inhabitants of the desert conducted processions related to water cults. In this context, you can picture people dressed in vibrant attire walking along these lines, creating an atmosphere of sacred ritual, invoking the gods of water to bestow rain, so vital for their agriculture. This thought fills you with awe, for water has always been a source of life, and its veneration could have been the foundation of their culture. There is also a hypothesis that these lines could have been maps indicating underground water sources, known as pukios. You can feel how this knowledge opens up a new perspective, for in the harsh conditions of the desert, the search for water was vital. Perhaps ancient masters used the lines as a way to indicate these hidden sources, guiding their descendants to life. Regardless of which of these theories is correct, each adds new layers to your understanding of the Nazca Lines, and you begin to realize that they are not just geometric figures, but symbols of hope, faith, and deep knowledge of nature. You allow yourself to ponder how important it was for these people to understand their environment and find meaning in it. Your soul fills with respect for their wisdom, and you feel how the connection with these ancient cultures becomes a part of your own journey. You breathe in the air filled with history, and perhaps even hear the whispers of those who once walked along these lines, leaving their mark on eternity. You continue to delve into the world of the mysteries of the Nazca Lines, and your attention is drawn to unconventional theories that complement traditional views on the purpose of these remarkable geoglyphs. One of the most prominent theories belongs to Swiss writer Erich von Däniken, who proposed the hypothesis that the Nazca Lines could have been nothing more than landing strips for extraterrestrials. You can imagine how he described these enormous figures as guides for intergalactic travelers who could see them from above as they flew over the desert. Although this theory lacks archaeological evidence, it has attracted the attention of many adventurers and enthusiasts of mysteries. It has become part of popular culture, sparking lively interest and debates. You feel how this idea, despite its eccentricity, underscores the fact that a full explanation of the phenomenon still eludes scientists, creating an aura of mystery around the Nazca Lines. You notice how the lack of definitive answers allows your imagination to run wild, enabling you to explore various scenarios that could have led to the creation of these geoglyphs. Perhaps you feel like an explorer opening up new horizons, and in this context, you sense a connection to broader questions about humanity and its place in the universe. You picture how ancient cultures might have sought to communicate with something greater than themselves, creating these lines as a way to express their hopes and dreams of contact with higher powers. This sense of deep connection to history and culture, which may have been ahead of its time, fills you with wonder and awe. You allow yourself to ponder how understanding such mysteries can enrich your life, opening up new perspectives and deepening your understanding of the world. Each step along the line you explore in your imagination becomes not just a physical movement, but also a spiritual journey into uncharted territories of human thought and creativity. You breathe in the air filled with myths and legends, and perhaps even feel how the mysterious energies of the past penetrate your consciousness, inviting you to become part of this endless search for answers. You continue your journey through the mysterious world of the Nazca Lines, and now your attention is focused on the remarkable factors that have helped these geoglyphs survive for millennia. You notice how the unique climatic conditions of the Nazca Desert have provided extraordinary protection for these ancient images. Here, in this dry and desolate climate with almost no rainfall, the ideal conditions for preserving the geoglyphs are created, preventing water from eroding their outlines. You can imagine how the sun's rays, penetrating the transparent sky, illuminate the lines, creating vivid contrasts that have remained unchanged for centuries. Strong winds sweeping across the desert also play a crucial role. Instead of eroding and destroying, they gently blow away the sand that covers the lines, rather than obliterating them. You feel the wind softly touching your skin, reminding you of the time when ancient cultures left their marks on this land. Sandstorms, which are common in other regions, act differently here in Nazca. Their rarity and brevity allow the lines to remain unscathed. You can picture these geoglyphs like guardians of time, preserving not only their visual, but also their spiritual connection to the past. Every element of this environment contributes to keeping the lines alive and intact, as if nature itself is protecting them from destruction. You notice that these conditions have not only ensured physical longevity, but also created an atmosphere filled with mystery and secrecy. With each breath, you delve deeper into this understanding, allowing yourself to feel how this historical connection to nature permeates your consciousness. Perhaps you ponder how these ancient people used their knowledge of climate and terrain to create something that would outlast them. This thought fills you with respect for those who lived here thousands of years ago, creating art that continues to inspire awe and admiration. You allow yourself to pause for a moment and take a deep breath, feeling the wind carry with it the whisper of antiquity, inviting you to explore not only the geography, but also the depths of human experience and the pursuit of eternity. You continue your meditative journey along the mysterious lines of Nazca, and your attention is drawn to the hidden symbolism embedded in these colossal images. You notice how the lines intertwine, creating patterns that seem filled with mystery and enigma. Some geoglyphs depict animals such as hummingbirds, monkeys, and lizards, while others represent abstract forms and geometric patterns that are difficult to interpret. You can feel how these images, created by ancient artists, are imbued with meaning and symbolism that remains unsolved. Scientists and archaeologists still debate what the creators of these lines intended to convey. Perhaps they were ritualistic signs summoning rain, or messages directed to gods to ensure fertility and protection. You allow yourself to ponder who these giant messages were meant for, visible only from above. Maybe they were signs for people living on the ground, or perhaps they were meant for gods observing the world from above. With each new breath, you feel these questions deepen your state of reflection and contemplation. You can imagine ancient artists sitting on hill slopes, meticulously creating their works using their knowledge of stars and nature. Each line, each curve, could be part of a broader cosmic plan, possibly reflecting their understanding of the world and humanity's place in it. You slow your breath, immersing yourself in thoughts about how these symbols might have conveyed wisdom and knowledge valuable to entire generations. Your imagination paints scenes of ancient ceremonies where people gathered to honor these lines, perhaps dancing and praying, connecting with the spirits of earth and sky. You feel this experience fills you with a sense of unity with these ancient cultures, and their quest for understanding the world resonates with your own search. You take a moment to deeply inhale, allowing yourself to be immersed in this atmosphere filled with magic and mystery, contemplating how art can be not only a means of self-expression, but also a powerful tool for transmitting knowledge and hopes. In this silent dialogue with ancient artists, you understand that perhaps their messages continue to live on, reminding us that even in silence, one can find deep meaning and connection with others. You feel these reflections fill your soul with peace and tranquility, allowing you to be part of this eternal dialogue between the past and the present. You continue your meditative journey through the vast expanses of the Nazca lines, and your mind begins to ponder how these magnificent geoglyphs could have been created. You realize that such immense images required a highly organized society with deep knowledge and skills. In your imagination, you see ancient people working in teams, discussing details and coordinating their efforts to achieve perfect symmetry and accuracy. You can almost feel the tension and excitement as their hands, covered in earth, draw lines that will only be visible from above. But how could they manage such a large-scale project? You wonder if they had some sort of giant-scale blueprints to help them visualize the overall picture. Or perhaps they used some unknown technology that allowed them to see their creations from a bird's-eye view. You picture ancient masters using natural landmarks, such as mountain peaks or rivers, to create precise lines, guided by skilled eyes and intuition. Maybe they had special tools or methods that allowed them to control the accuracy and direction of each line, enabling them to convey their ideas in such a grand form. These reflections fill your mind with a sense of respect for ancient cultures and their ability to engage in collective creativity. You can almost feel their joy as they completed another geoglyph, looking at their achievements with pride and satisfaction. Perhaps they gathered together to celebrate the completion of their work, creating a shared culture based on collective effort and a common goal. Your soul is filled with peace as you imagine these lines, created with love and care, continuing to speak to us through the ages, inviting us to reflect on the importance of unity in creating something greater than individual efforts. You allow yourself to be immersed in this atmosphere of respect for historical heritage, and you feel your own desire for understanding and unity with the world around you reflected in these ancient symbols. With each breath, you feel the wisdom of the ancestors entering your heart, reminding you that each of us has the power to leave our mark on history, whether in the form of giant geoglyphs or quiet yet significant deeds. You allow yourself to enjoy this deep connection with past generations and continue your journey, delving into the mysterious world where art, science, and culture intertwine in a single stream of human experience. You continue your meditative journey, and your attention is drawn to the thought of how modern technologies are opening new horizons in the study of the Nazca lines. You realize that with each passing day, the world of science is becoming more perfect, and researchers are using drones and satellite imagery to uncover mysteries that have remained hidden for centuries. You can imagine small unmanned vehicles soaring over the vast expanses of the desert, capturing every corner, every line, every shadow. These modern devices give us the opportunity to see the world from above, as the ancient masters did, and reveal new geoglyphs that had eluded researchers for many years. Your imagination paints pictures of amazing discoveries. Enormous figures that were previously unnoticed are now becoming visible as researchers observe the results of their work with a mix of surprise and joy. You feel a sense of excitement as you think about how each new geoglyph opens up even more questions, encouraging scientists to delve deeper into the study of Nazca culture and traditions. You notice how this discovery creates that very intrigue that permeates history, like a thread connecting the past and the present. You can imagine how detailed satellite images allow researchers to analyze not only the geoglyphs themselves, but also their surroundings, studying how nature and time affect these ancient creations. This research requires a multidisciplinary approach, uniting archaeologists, historians, geographers, and art historians. And you realize that the combined efforts of different specialists can lead to remarkable discoveries that could change our understanding of this mysterious culture. You allow yourself to imagine how future technologies will help unravel even more mysteries, and perhaps we will be able to learn why these geoglyphs were created, what significance they had for their creators, and how they were used in their daily lives. These reflections fill your mind with hope and inspiration as you realize that every step forward in the study of the Nazca lines is not only a step towards unraveling ancient mysteries, but also an opportunity for a new generation of researchers to continue this amazing journey. You feel how your own curiosity and thirst for knowledge merge with this history. Like water flowing in a stream, leaving traces in the sand, your soul fills with a sense of unity with this endless process of discovery and understanding, and you allow yourself to immerse in this atmosphere where the old meets the new, where every discovery becomes a step towards a deeper understanding of our place in the world. You take a deep breath, feeling the air fill your lungs, and with each exhale, you feel your body relaxing, allowing you to enjoy this meditative atmosphere where science and art harmonize, like a melody resonating with your inner world. You let yourself absorb this energy, and perhaps in this state, you will feel your own creative inspiration awakening as you realize that there is still so much unexplored, so many possibilities for discovery and understanding in the world. You continue your meditative journey, and your thoughts, like light clouds, begin to gently swirl around the lines of Nazca, which remain one of the greatest archaeological enigmas, a mysterious message from ancient civilizations. You can feel their silence penetrating your consciousness, evoking waves of curiosity and admiration. With each breath, you delve deeper into the atmosphere of mystery, For these massive geoglyphs carved into the desert floor speak to you in a language understood only by those who are willing to listen. You notice how the sun, slowly descending on the horizon, illuminates the lines, creating a dance of shadows and light, as if nature itself is trying to reveal its secrets to you. You feel time standing still, and ancient figures come to life beside you, perhaps the same people who once stood here, gazing at their creations, imbuing them with deep meaning and significance. These people, in their simplicity and wisdom, left us symbols that remain unsolved, forever a part of history, and you, as a modern researcher, feel yourself a part of this endless flow of time. You allow yourself to ponder how these lines could have served as a ritual guide, a beacon for celestial bodies, or even a map leading to water sources. Your imagination ignites, filling you with new ideas and images as you consider how each discovery can change our perception of the past. Your soul is filled with awe of this mysterious culture, and you understand that every time researchers uncover new geoglyphs, they are not just finding ancient images, but opening doors to a world that was forgotten but never lost. You can imagine how these discoveries continue to captivate scientists and the public, reminding us all that in the world of science and history, there is always something unsaid, something waiting to be revealed. You feel your heart beating in sync with this thought, for it is in the search for answers that the beauty of human existence lies. You can almost hear the whisper of the desert calling you to explore, to ask questions, and never stop being amazed. This process of unraveling mysteries, like a river, flows through the centuries, connecting past and future, and you, standing here and now, become a part of this extraordinary stream. You allow yourself to enjoy the moment when your mind is free, and you are open to new ideas, new discoveries, and new possibilities. With each second, you sink deeper into this state of meditation, allowing yourself to become a part of this silent history that continues to live, breathe, and inspire. You find yourself on the Salisbury Plain, where the colossal stone monoliths of Stonehenge stand majestically, like guardians of ancient secrets and stories. Imagine the gentle breeze softly rustling the grass and the serene atmosphere that allows you to feel a part of this unique place. The ancient stones, hewn from limestone, were brought here from afar and have stood here for more than 5,000 years, witnessing the changes of epochs and civilizations. You can feel the breath of history as you picture the first people who came to this plain, awestruck by these massive structures that seem to be created by gods themselves. The first references to Stonehenge date back to the Neolithic era, when tribes began to adopt agriculture and a settled way of life, and this place likely served as both a ritual and astronomical center. With each step across this plain, you can feel the energy of the stones permeating your consciousness, inspiring deep reflections on how and why these architectural wonders were created. Systematic research on Stonehenge began in the 18th century, when archaeologists and scholars began to recognize the significance of this megalithic complex. You can imagine the crowds of curious people gathering around, asking questions and trying to unravel the mystery of the stones that seem to envelop everything in their grandeur. One of the first to systematically study Stonehenge was antiquarian Edward Everard, who published his work in 1791, describing his awe and bewilderment at these ancient structures. You can feel his passion for research as you imagine him standing among the stones, trying to understand their purpose and role in the lives of people of that time. Over the following centuries, interest in Stonehenge grew. Researchers and archaeologists, such as William Stukeley, whose works in the 1730s brought public attention, contributed to the understanding of this place as a sanctuary, not just an architectural marvel. Your imagination ignites as you consider how this place could have served as a center for rituals connected to solar and lunar cycles. Given its ideal location for observing astronomical phenomena, research indicates that Stonehenge could have served not only as a ritual site, but also as an observatory, where ancient people could track the movements of celestial bodies. You can picture the first rays of the sun penetrating between the stones on the summer solstice, creating a magical atmosphere that captivates and enchants. Each stone, each line of alignment, speaks of the deep knowledge and understanding that our ancestors possessed. As you delve into the history of this place, you realize that Stonehenge is not just stones. It is a living history that continues to inspire and amaze. Studying it is like opening a window into the past, allowing you to become a part of this ancient culture that left its mark on the earth and in the hearts of people. You will return to this place again and again in your thoughts, feeling how its energy continues to fill you with serenity and wonder. You stand amidst colossal stone blocks, and as you examine each of these massive sarsens, you realize that they are not just stones, but true monuments to human ingenuity and perseverance. Imagine that each of these sarsens weighs up to 50 tons, making them some of the heaviest stones ever moved by people. You can feel their power and majesty as you look at them, and it becomes intriguing to think how Neolithic people managed to tackle such a monumental task. These stones were quarried from afar, and their transportation was a genuine engineering puzzle. Without wheels and metallic tools available in the modern world, they used their ingenuity to create systems that allowed them to move these stones from place to place. You can picture them using wooden logs to create a sort of track, along which they rolled the stones, or developing methods to shift them with the collective effort of many people. Each step in this process requires patience and cooperation, as moving such massive boulders required the combined efforts of an entire tribe. You can feel the energy of unity and teamwork filling the air around you as you think about those people who worked together on this complex task, overcoming difficulties and obstacles. You can imagine them using ropes and other makeshift materials to lift and install the stones, carefully calculating each movement to avoid damaging them. The process of installation also required deep knowledge of how the stones should be positioned to serve their astronomical and ritual purposes. Each stone in Stonehenge was meticulously carved and set with consideration for its orientation towards the sun and moon, indicating a high level of astronomical understanding. You feel a sense of respect for those who lived in those distant times and left us this extraordinary legacy. Some smaller stones, known as blue stones, also have significant weight, reaching up to 4 tons. These stones were quarried in Wales, and their transportation over such a distance was another engineering challenge, requiring perseverance and ingenuity. You can picture this long journey across hills and valleys, where ancient people worked to bring these stones to a place where they could create something great. You feel that these stones, each with its own history, are not just building blocks, but fragments of an ancient culture striving to understand and capture its place in the world. When you look at these massive structures, you understand that every detail, every curve, and the arrangement of the stones are not accidents, but the result of deep knowledge and the labor of many generations. This place, filled with history and energy, becomes for you not just an object of observation, but a true guide to a world where human spirit and nature merge to create something truly magnificent and captivating. You can feel how this unique architectural and engineering marvel continues to enchant and inspire not only you, but millions of people seeking to unravel its mysteries. Stonehenge, with its colossal stones and complex structures, remains a symbol of human strength and the pursuit of knowledge, reminding us that even without modern technologies, one can create something great and meaningful. You continue to look around, and your attention is once again drawn to the blue stones of Stonehenge, which, despite their smaller size compared to the sarsens, possess their own unique history and mystery. These blue stones, quarried in Preseli Hills, located in Wales, are approximately 250 kilometers away from this magnificent structure. You can imagine how ancient people, filled with determination and a desire to create something great, began their long journey to transport these massive stones to their destination. Picture the hills and valleys they crossed, each step filled with anticipation and hope. How did they manage such a challenging task? Researchers still debate the routes by which the blue stones could have been transported. One hypothesis suggests that they may have been transported over land using a kind of wooden railway, on which heavy stones were rolled. You can feel the earth trembling beneath your feet as you imagine thousands of people united in a single effort to move these colossal boulders. However, some scientists propose another theory. Perhaps the ancient builders used rivers and seas to facilitate transportation. The logistics of this complex operation remain a subject of research and discussion, and you feel as if this opens up a world of mysteries and secrets. How much effort and ingenuity was put into each movement, each detail. You can feel your soul filled with awe for those people, driven by passion and a desire for knowledge, who created this extraordinary place, leaving us with a legacy that continues to stir our imagination. This complex process, shrouded in mystery, serves not only as a testament to human strength, but also as a demonstration of our connection to nature, which, despite all the difficulties, was capable of producing something eternal and magnificent. You can pause and reflect on how this monument, made of simple natural materials, has become a symbol of human striving to understand our place in the world, leaving you space for contemplation and admiration. You leisurely continue to wander among the majestic stones, and your attention is drawn not only to their history, but also to the mystery that surrounds their construction. Archaeologists and historians are eager to explore various hypotheses about how ancient people managed to build this monumental structure. One of the most widely accepted theories suggests the use of wooden levers. You can imagine groups of people, united by a common goal, gathering around a massive stone, using long logs as levers to lift and move it. Each of their efforts, each movement, is a synergy of strength and agility, and you feel your heart fill with respect for their perseverance. Meanwhile, another hypothesis proposes the use of rollers. You can visualize ancient builders placing large logs next to the stones, serving as rollers, allowing heavy blocks to slide across the ground. Picture the stones moving forward slowly, with a creaking and groaning sound, and how your ancestors, filled with hope, watched this process, striving towards their goal. However, despite the intriguing experiments of modern scientists who replicate these methods, the exact way Stonehenge was built remains a mystery. Researchers have tried to reproduce the movement of large stones using primitive technologies, but results that definitively confirm any hypothesis have not been achieved. You may feel a slight sadness realizing that this question, like many other aspects of ancient history, still holds its secrets. But it is precisely this sense of mystery that gives the place a special magic. Each step on the ground where these stones stand fills you with thoughts of the immense effort invested in their creation and how this manifestation of human genius continues to inspire new generations. You may ponder how these ancient methods reflect not only physical strength, but also a deep understanding of the surrounding world. When people used the resources available to them to create something magnificent and enduring, you feel the air around you filled with the spirit of creativity, and how this spirit may continue to live in each of us. Your soul fills with gratitude towards those who came before you, towards those who left this extraordinary monument, which despite its antiquity still evokes admiration and wonder. You may pause to take a deeper breath, absorbing the atmosphere filled with stories, secrets, and inspiration, and feel how this place connects you with the endless flow of time and human experience. You are slowly advancing further, and your gaze is drawn not only by the grandeur of the stones, but also by their astronomical function, which, it seems, permeates the entire space of this mysterious place. You can feel how the magic of Stonehenge is not limited to its physical dimensions, but also encompasses deep knowledge that was accessible to its builders. These ancient people, with their remarkable astronomical knowledge, were able to create a structure that served not only as a monument, but also as an astronomical observatory. You can imagine them observing the movements of celestial bodies, recording each sunrise and sunset, studying its behavior throughout the year. What is particularly fascinating is that Stonehenge is perfectly aligned with the sunrise on the summer solstice and the sunset on the winter solstice. You may wonder how this could have been achieved without modern technology and tools. This suggests that the builders had a deep understanding of astronomy and the ability to accurately track celestial phenomena using only their observations and intuition. You can picture the sun's rays penetrating through the stone openings on the summer solstice, creating magical light effects that may have inspired the ancient people to perform rituals and celebrations. Your imagination paints pictures of people gathering here to welcome the first light of the new day, rejoicing in the beginning of a new cycle of life. At the same time, on the winter solstice, when the sun sets, you can feel the bitterness of loss as the light fades, but with it comes the hope of rebirth. These moments, filled with deep symbolism, allow you to feel a connection with your ancestors who sought understanding in the dance of light and shadow. You ponder how accurately these people could have calculated the importance of astronomical events using simple methods of observing stars and the sun, and how this knowledge was passed down from generation to generation. You develop respect for their wisdom and ability to live in harmony with nature. For each celestial phenomenon and each change of the seasons held special significance for them. You can pause for a moment to feel this connection with the past, with those who once stood on this same spot, looking at the stars and understanding their place in the vast universe. Your soul fills with peace as you realize that these stones are not just symbols of history, but also witnesses to the knowledge and aspirations of people who used them as tools to study the world around them. You breathe in the fresh air, saturated with the atmosphere of antiquity and wisdom, and allow yourself to be part of this eternal cycle in which light and darkness, life and death intertwine in an endless dance of time. You continue your journey, delving into the world of hypotheses and theories surrounding Stonehenge. Each theory unveils new facets of this mysterious place, making you ponder what these stones truly meant to those who erected them. One of the most widespread theories suggests that Stonehenge could have served as an ancient calendar. You can imagine people gathering here, marking important dates based on solar cycles. Your imagination paints a scene of tribes celebrating significant events, such as planting and harvesting, following the sun and moon's movements. However, there are other versions that propose this place could have been a center of worship. You pause for a moment to envision ancient people gathering here to venerate their gods, possibly conducting rituals filled with music and dance, creating a sense of unity with nature and the heavens. Your soul fills with awe at this notion, for a place where sacred rites were performed always holds a special energy. Then you encounter the idea that Stonehenge could have been an observatory, a place from which ancient astronomers observed stars and planets, recording their movements and predicting celestial events. Your mind is filled with images of people intently watching the sky, perhaps surrounded by myths and legends, linking each movement to the fate of their people. Yet Professor Tim Darvill proposes another hypothesis, suggesting this place could have been a center of healing. You can visualize people coming here in search of healing, believing these magnificent stones possess healing power, capable of restoring both mental and physical health. This thought brings you a sense of tranquility, for Stonehenge could have been a symbol of hope and restoration for many generations. Despite the multitude of theories, you realize that the lack of written records from Stonehenge's builders leaves room for imagination and speculation. Each new hypothesis acts as a door into the past, opening up new avenues for reflection and research. You feel that these stones, standing for centuries, hold secrets and knowledge that remain beyond full comprehension. Perhaps it is this very mystery that makes Stonehenge so captivating. For each theory, each hypothesis is like a drop in the ocean, allowing you to delve deeper into its mystique and complexity. You slow your breath and allow yourself to be part of this enigmatic world, where each thought, each idea about Stonehenge fills you with new sensations, igniting your interest in ancient mysteries that may never be fully revealed. You delve deeper into the mysteries of Stonehenge, and your imagination transports you to the people who built this magnificent structure. You can picture ancient tribes who lived here thousands of years ago, their customs and beliefs. Archaeologists believe that the builders of Stonehenge belong to the Wessex culture, as well as the culture of bell-shaped beakers, which were widely distributed across the British Isles in the 3rd millennium BCE. You feel the history of these people come alive before you. They left behind not only the grand stones, but also numerous artifacts found in the vicinity. These discoveries reveal a fascinating world in which they lived. Pottery, tools, jewelry, and even burial complexes that provide insight into their lives and rituals. You can almost hear the sounds of their daily life, the chatter of conversations, the laughter of children, as well as the rhythms of dances and songs that created an atmosphere of unity and joy. Your imagination paints pictures of how they gathered together to celebrate important events, sharing stories of their ancestors and dreaming of the future. You notice that among the artifacts are traces of other cultures, indicating the interaction of different groups of people over centuries. The findings suggest that Stonehenge could have been a place not only for worship, but also for communication, the exchange of knowledge and cultural traditions. You can imagine people coming from distant lands to share their stories, science, and art. This place could have become a unique intersection of various cultures, where each tradition added its own colors to the rich palette of life. You feel how this interaction enriched their beliefs and practices, creating a unique heritage that has endured for centuries. Your soul is filled with wonder as you realize that Stonehenge is not just stones, but a reflection of the diversity of human experience. You pause each artifact, each discovery is a window into their world, allowing you to better understand their hopes, fears, and dreams. You can almost feel the touch of their hands on the stones, their breath in this sacred place filled with history. Reflecting on how these ancient people perceived their connection to nature, You understand that for them, Stonehenge was not just an architectural structure, but a living organism that united them with the earth, the sky, and each other. Each stone, each ritual could reflect their understanding of the world, where everything was connected, where each element of nature had its own meaning and place. This thought fills you with a deep sense of respect for those who lived here before you, and you allow yourself to absorb this energy, letting it guide you to new discoveries and reflections on how the past continues to live in the present. You continue your journey through the enigmas of Stonehenge, and in your imagination, myths and legends begin to unfold, which have surrounded this sacred place for centuries. You feel the atmosphere becoming more magical, filled with mysterious stories about ancient Celts who linked Stonehenge with the powerful magician Merlin. According to the legends, it was he who created this grandeur, using his magical powers to transform massive stones into magnificent structures that were meant to serve as a place of worship and rituals. You can almost see him in your mind's eye, tall figures with long beards, cloaked in robes that inspire awe, standing against the backdrop of these monumental stones. Your soul fills with reverence as you ponder the significance these myths held for the ancient people. You picture the Celts gathering around fires, sharing stories about Merlin and his deeds, how he used his knowledge of stars and nature to create a magical place where people could connect with the spirits of their ancestors and nature. In this atmosphere, you feel that Stonehenge is not just an architectural marvel, but a living myth that continues to be passed down through generations. You can imagine them conducting rituals under the open sky, invoking the forces of nature, and their voices merging with the whisper of the wind and the sounds of the surrounding world. These moments were filled with sacred awe when each stone at Stonehenge became a participant in a ritual filled with meaning. You understand that these stories about Druids and Merlin add an additional layer of significance to this place, enhancing its grandeur with notes of magic and wonder. Your imagination continues to paint pictures of interactions between people and nature, where each ritual was imbued with deep respect for the surrounding world. At the same time, these myths about giants who could move enormous stones add even more grandeur and mystery to this place. You feel how these stories about great powers capable of creating such wonders connect you to the past, and you realize that Stonehenge has become a place where human fears and hopes intertwine with myths, creating a unique atmosphere. Your soul fills with reverence for this place, which has become not just an architectural wonder, but a symbol of human resilience and the desire to understand the world. You allow these thoughts to immerse you in deep meditation, where you can feel a connection with those who lived here before you and those who will live here after you. You pause for a moment to enjoy this energy, allowing yourself to absorb the atmosphere of ancient magic and history that continues to live in the stones of Stonehenge. You continue your journey, and around you, another grand story begins to unfold. The story of preserving Stonehenge, which has endured the effects of both nature and human activity for centuries. You feel the wind whispering to you about the time when the ancient stones began to erode, and how rain, snow, and sun have left their mark on their surfaces. These massive megaliths, once witnesses to rituals and dialogues with spirits, now require protection to maintain their grandeur and mystery for future generations. You notice that some of the stones are covered in moss and lichen, a sign of nature's attempt to reclaim this place. Yet these soft coatings also remind you of the importance of preserving the history encapsulated within these stones. You see modern scientists and restorers, like guardians of ancient secrets, working to preserve Stonehenge. They employ the latest technologies to monitor changes in the stones, documenting every crack and drop of moisture that could threaten this monument. You can imagine them spending time among these massive structures, studying them and trying to understand how best to protect them from the destructive forces of time. Your soul fills with respect for these efforts, as they not only safeguard the physical structure of Stonehenge, but also protect its spiritual heritage. You reflect on the importance of preserving this unique monument, which is not only an architectural marvel, but also a symbol of the connection between past and present, between people and nature. You recall how Stonehenge has become a subject of study not only for historians, but also for scientists who explore its astronomical and geographical aspects. Your imagination paints pictures of researchers, armed with modern instruments, studying the shadows cast by the stones during solar eclipses, or the angles at which they are positioned, as if they are important markers in the sky. You realize rituals. These moments of immersion in study add another layer to your perception of this place, and you feel your connection to it deepening. You understand that every step taken to protect Stonehenge is not just work, but an act of love for history, culture, and what binds us all to our ancestors. In this feeling, you find peace and harmony, recognizing that even in a world full of changes and destructions, there are forces that strive to preserve the beauty and greatness of the past. You allow yourself a moment to stop and mentally thank all those who work to preserve this sacred place, and you feel the energy of respect and love for history flowing through you, continuing to live in every stone of Stonehenge. Stonehenge, this magnificent monument, remains one of the most intriguing megalithic structures on the planet. Like a guardian of secrets waiting to be revealed, you feel the energy emanating from its white limestone blocks, filling the space around you with a mystical light. Each morning and evening, as the sun's rays touch these ancient stones, you witness the interplay of light and shadow, creating a unique atmosphere that evokes a deep sense of respect and admiration. How many questions remain unanswered? You ponder how the ancient people might have used Stonehenge for astronomical observations, marking significant events in their calendar, such as solstices and equinoxes. A gentle breeze brings with it the whisper of time, and you imagine thousands of years ago, people gathering here to perform rituals, honoring the sun and moon, truly believing in the power of these massive stones. You realize that Stonehenge is not just a place, it is a symbol of the connection between people and the heavens, between earth and the spirits of ancestors. Its true purpose remains a mystery, and you feel a sense of wonder. Perhaps it was a place of healing, or a cultic sanctuary where important ceremonies took place. Each time you come here, you feel the researchers and scientists inspired by this enigma continue their quest for knowledge, asking questions that stir the minds of millions around the world. You can picture them using advanced technologies to unravel this puzzle, exploring everything from geology to astronomy, from cultural aspects to the social structures of those times. This sense of collective search for truth unites you with them, and you understand that the study of Stonehenge is not just a scientific process, but a journey into history, into the depths of human nature. You wonder how this megalithic monument has become not only an object of study, but also a symbol of unity, connecting people from different epochs and cultures. Its mysteries concerning construction methods and cultural ties continue to stir the minds of scholars and the public, like a magnet drawing interest and inspiration. Each stone here, like a page of an ancient book, contains stories and legends waiting to be heard. You realize that Stonehenge is not just an architectural masterpiece, it is a mirror reflecting our desire for understanding and our unquenchable thirst for knowledge, which does not fade even after thousands of years. In this moment, you allow yourself to immerse in this atmosphere of mystery, letting your mind wander among hypotheses and ideas as if you yourself become a part of this history. Each second spent in this sacred place fills you with peace and tranquility, and you understand that Stonehenge, with its mysteries and beauty, will remain in your thoughts and dreams as a symbol of the grandeur of antiquity and the eternal human pursuit of knowledge. You find yourself on a small, almost unnoticed island of Antikythera, where the sea whispers its ancient secrets and history lies hidden beneath the waves, waiting for its moment to be revealed. The water waves carry with them aromas of salt and freshness, while the bright sun illuminates the turquoise expanse, creating a dance of light that draws you closer. In this moment, you are transported back to the early 20th century, to the year 1901, when a group of Greek sponge divers, diving off the coast of this island, stumbled upon something extraordinary. You feel a thrill of excitement as they descend into the underwater world, surrounded by the dark shadows of sunken treasures. Imagine their hearts pounding with surprise when, among the multitude of amphoras and fragments of ancient statues, they find something that seems out of place, a rusted piece of metal that initially does not catch their attention. You feel their excitement as they begin to realize that this is not just any ordinary object, but something more, a mysterious device known as the Antikythera mechanism, which will spark debates and admiration for many decades to come. This mechanism, created more than 2,000 years ago, is a complex device that, as it later turns out, was used for astronomical calculations and predictions. You sense its depth as you imagine the ancient Greeks possibly using it to track the movement of stars and planets, linking celestial cycles with terrestrial events. Mentally, you are transported to the moment when scientists began to study this unique artifact, realizing that it contains invaluable knowledge about the scientific achievements of its time. The Antikythera mechanism, with its gears and mechanisms, becomes a symbol of ancient wisdom and the human quest for knowledge, which has been a part of humanity since ancient times. You understand that this piece of metal is not just an artifact, but a testament to those who lived and dreamed of knowledge, who sought answers to questions that we still ask today. Each detail of this mechanism seems to whisper to you about those who may have stood before it, observing the movement of the stars and trying to unravel the mysteries hidden in the vast expanse of the heavens. In your imagination, you see an ancient Greek astronomer lost in thought, feeling part of something greater than himself as he studies the sky. You realize how this discovery became a turning point in the understanding of ancient Greek science and technology, changing the way we perceive what was possible in those times. In this moment, you allow yourself to delve into thoughts about how humanity has always sought knowledge, how such discoveries inspire new research and searches for answers. You understand that every discovery is not just an object, but a story that continues to live, telling of its creators and their dreams, fears, and hopes. The Antikythera mechanism, with its mysteries and secrets, becomes for you a symbol of the connection between past and present, reminding you that every era leaves traces that await discovery and understanding. You continue your journey, delving into the dark waters of history, which conceal a multitude of secrets. The Antikythera mechanism, found at the bottom of the sea, remained in the shadows for a long time, shrouded in mystery and ignorance. After it was raised, it ended up in a museum, where, unfortunately, it was taken for an ordinary mechanism or even a decoration, not arousing much interest or questions. You can imagine how this extraordinary artifact, containing a complex structure and profound knowledge, lay in a glass case surrounded by other exhibits that seemed more understandable to visitors. Years passed, and no one guessed its true value. In your imagination, you see curious scientists, perhaps lost in thought about what this object was, but unable to find the right words to explain its nature. And then, in the late 1970s, on the stage appears Derek de Solla Price, a researcher who changes everything. You feel hope filling the air as he begins to draw attention to this mysterious object. With X-ray images, he gains the ability to look inside the mechanism, discovering a remarkable internal complexity that no one could have imagined. With each new image he takes, you feel his awe and curiosity growing. He begins to recognize the gears and cogs that work together perfectly, creating complex mechanisms capable of counting time and predicting astronomical events. This transformation in understanding, like a beam of light piercing the dark waters, fills them with new meanings. You realize that his work was the first step in unraveling the mystery of the Antikythera mechanism, which had hidden its secrets for centuries. Understanding its significance comes gradually, like waves crashing on the shore, washing away the sand and revealing new aspects. Each detail he discovers seems to whisper to you about those who created this artifact, their knowledge and aspirations, about how they tried to connect heavenly phenomena with earthly reality. Your soul fills with gratitude to this scientist, who, without fearing difficulties, began systematic study and became the voice that finally told the world about the significance of the Antikythera mechanism. You feel how this discovery, despite its age, brings you back to the present, inspiring new generations of researchers. Each step in the study of the mechanism becomes a step in the understanding of ancient knowledge, in the comprehension of how humanity has always sought ways to understand the surrounding reality, striving to understand its place in this vast cosmos. You allow yourself to be immersed in reflections on how each epoch, each discovery, like the Antikythera mechanism, reminds us of the endless pursuit of knowledge and understanding, of how important such discoveries are for our common history. The mechanism, which once seemed like just a metallic object, now stands before you in a new radiant aura, full of life and mysteries waiting to be unraveled. You are delving deeper into the mysterious world of the Antikythera mechanism, which presents itself as a complex and elegant musical instrument, crafted by the hands of ancient artisans. This artifact, consisting of more than 30 bronze gears, reminds you of the grandeur of human thought and the strides civilization has taken in its quest for knowledge. You can almost hear the soft rustle of the gears as they turn and feel how each one synchronously interacts with the others, creating harmony that can predict the movements of celestial bodies. Your imagination paints pictures of ancient astronomers, gazing at the stars and using this mechanism as a tool to understand the cosmos, much like how we use modern computers today. The dials, adorned with intricate inscriptions and pointers, seem to tell you stories of the secrets they hold. You notice how they point to solar and lunar eclipses, the phases of the moon, and significant dates of the Olympic Games, which were not only sporting events but also important cultural moments for ancient Greece. Each dial is filled with meaning, and you feel how this information, like a soft light, penetrates your consciousness, revealing new dimensions of understanding. You realize that this mechanism was not just a device, but a true analog computer, capable of accurately predicting the movements of the sun, moon, and 5 known planets in ancient times. Your soul fills with awe for those who created this marvel of engineering, as they managed to combine knowledge of celestial phenomena with practical needs of life on Earth. You see how each gear, turning, not only performs its function, but also becomes a part of a grand symphony that connects humanity with the boundless cosmos. This device evokes a sense of closeness to those ancient astronomers who, perhaps, also stood under open skies, attentively observing celestial bodies and pondering how to better understand their movements. The Antikythera mechanism, like a magical key, opens doors to the past, allowing you to feel a connection with those who sought to unravel the mysteries of the universe. You allow yourself to enjoy this thought, immersing yourself in a world where science and art intersect, creating remarkable discoveries and achievements. Each turn of the gears fills you with a sense of the grandeur of human thought and the endless pursuit of knowledge. This is not just a mechanism, but a monument to how far humanity can go in its search for truth. You feel your own understanding of time and space begin to change as you realize that even thousands of years ago, people sought answers to questions that also concern you. With each new discovery about the Antikythera mechanism, you feel your connection to ancient civilizations growing stronger, as if you too are becoming a part of this long chain of human knowledge that spans centuries. You continue your journey through a world where ancient knowledge and modern technology intertwine in a wondrous dance. The Antikythera mechanism, as if a living artifact, reveals its secrets before you, displaying the incredible complexity of its construction. Among the multitude of bronze gears, you notice hidden mechanisms such as differential transmissions that ensure the precision and functionality of this device. This is not merely a collection of gears, it is a sophisticated system that, as it seems, surpasses the time in which it was created by more than 1,000 years. Your admiration grows as you realize that such mechanisms, like astronomical clocks, would not appear in Europe until the 14th century, challenging traditional notions of technological progress in the ancient world. You imagine the craftsmen who created this mechanism as true innovators of their time, capable of extraordinary achievements that, as it seems, were beyond the reach of most of their contemporaries. You feel as if time and space merge into one, and in this moment, you gain a deeper understanding of how knowledge and technology evolve in different cultures. Each detail of the mechanism, each gear, seems to whisper to you that human intellect is capable of more than we can imagine. This incredible complexity leaves you in awe, and you realize that the Antikythera mechanism is not just an artifact, but a symbol of how far humanity can go in its quest to understand the universe. You allow yourself to be immersed in this thought, feeling a sense of tranquility and wonder fill your inner being. Perhaps it is for this reason that this mechanism has remained in history as one of the greatest scientific discoveries of antiquity, demonstrating that even in distant times, there were minds capable of great achievements. Your soul warms as you understand that this artifact has become a bridge between two eras, linking the ancient world with modernity, and you, like a time traveler, cross this bridge, feeling its power and depth. You can almost feel the gears continuing to rotate in an endless dance, embodying humanity's pursuit of knowledge and discoveries that have forever changed the course of history. With each breath, you become more immersed in the atmosphere of this extraordinary mechanism, allowing yourself to be a part of this story where technology and dreams intersect, creating amazing possibilities for future generations. You realize that this mechanism not only opens windows to the past, but also inspires new achievements that still lie ahead for humanity. You feel a spark of inspiration ignite in your heart, and this feeling becomes a part of your own journey, reminding you that each of us can be a bearer of light that illuminates the path for others. In this moment, fully immersed in the world of the Antikythera mechanism, you understand the depth and significance of the knowledge it symbolizes, and with each passing moment, your perception of the world becomes clearer and more complete. You continue to delve into the mysteries of the Antikythera mechanism, and your mind begins to wander in search of its origin and creator. You wonder who the mastermind could have been who created this extraordinary artifact, and what their thoughts and dreams were. One of the most popular theories is a connection to the great Archimedes of Syracuse, whose work in mechanics and mathematics left an indelible mark on history. You imagine Archimedes, inspired by the stars and the movements of the planets, creating such a device capable of predicting astronomical phenomena and opening doors to a world filled with knowledge. Your imagination paints pictures of ancient workshops where, under the dim light of lamps, geniuses labored, creating mechanisms that seemed to have been given to them by the heavens themselves. But Archimedes was not the only one who could have been involved in this wonder. You also recall Posidonius of Rhodes, the astronomer who perhaps inspired the creators of the mechanism with his understanding of the cosmos and its harmony. You feel the threads of time and space intertwining as you picture these great minds exchanging ideas, creating an evolution of knowledge that led to the creation of this unique mechanism. Yet, in this awe-inspiring journey, you are struck by a sense of mystery. Why did such advanced technology, with its incredible potential, not spread? You notice the absence of other similar finds, creating an atmosphere of enigma, as if history itself is trying to hide its secrets. You allow yourself to ponder how a technology that could have changed the course of history ended up forgotten, preserved only in this mechanism as the last witness of a bygone era. Each gear and detail of the mechanism reminds you of how easily knowledge and discoveries can be lost, if not passed on to future generations. You feel this thought fill you with deep reflection, inviting you to consider the importance of preserving knowledge and how easily it can be lost in the vast expanse of time. In this moment, as you contemplate the fate of great minds and their achievements, you realize that the Antikythera mechanism is not just an artifact, but a symbol of the search for and pursuit of knowledge that should not be forgotten. You feel a growing desire to learn and discover, as if this mechanism has become your mentor, guiding you on a path of self-discovery and understanding. And so you continue to move forward, feeling each step brings you closer to understanding not only history, but also yourself. You open yourself to a world where every question, every mystery becomes a part of your own journey, allowing you to create new connections and deepen your understanding of the world around you. You continue your journey, immersing yourself in the context of the Antikythera mechanism discovery and its connection to the sunken ship. You imagine the depths of the Aegean Sea, where a Roman ship, which sank around the 70s-60s BC, lies. This period was one of rapid expansion for Rome, absorbing cultures and knowledge that sparkled like precious gems in its empire. You can almost feel the warm waves embracing the hull of this ancient vessel, which may have been loaded with Greek treasures, statues, marble artifacts, and of course, knowledge that was woven into the fabric of ancient Greek wisdom. You wonder what secrets and treasures might have been on board when the ship left the ports of Greece, heading to Rome, the heart of the civilization at that time. Perhaps it carried not only material goods, but also ideas that could change the course of history. You can picture the scholars and philosophers among the sailors and merchants, sharing their thoughts on stars, mathematics, and mechanics, creating a unique atmosphere of knowledge exchange. The ship, with its powerful sails filled with wind, seemed to symbolize humanity's pursuit of knowledge, its drive for new discoveries and understanding of the world. But in an instant, amidst the turbulent waves and unpredictable currents, the ship met its fate. Your imagination paints a picture of this tragedy: the ship listing, its cargo sinking into the abyss, and the knowledge it carried lost for centuries. You feel this story of a ship that did not reach its destination, echoing your own life, reminding you of the importance of preserving and safeguarding the values and ideas that shape our culture and identity. Thus, the sunken ship is not just a part of the ocean floor, but a symbol of lost opportunities, treasures that could have changed the world. You realize that the Antikythera mechanism found among the wreckage is a kind of message from the past, the last witness of an era when mechanics and astronomy were intertwined in a single artifact, capable of opening new horizons of knowledge. With each breath, you fill yourself with the sensation of connection to this ancient world, feeling the waves of time washing over your soul, immersing you in deep meditation on the value of knowledge and its preservation. You allow yourself to ponder the importance of not forgetting our roots and history, for it is they that form us as individuals and as a society. With each step on this path, you feel your understanding of the world deepening and the importance of cherishing the legacy left to us by our ancestors. You continue to delve into contemplation of the significance of the Antikythera mechanism, which, as you believe, could have served various purposes, from scientific research to rituals. You once again envision this ancient artifact, carved from bronze, being used for observing celestial bodies, showcasing the remarkable astronomical knowledge of its creators. You can sense how its gear wheels and complex mechanisms were not merely technical achievements, but also embodied the human thirst for knowledge, the desire to understand the vast expanse of the cosmos. Perhaps this mechanism was used for predicting astrological events, which ancient people believed could influence human destinies. And you ponder how astrology and science intertwined in the minds of ancient Greeks. You feel how each movement of these mechanisms could have had not only practical, but also profound ritualistic meanings, enriching the lives of ancient people. Maybe it served not only for education, but also for establishing a connection with higher powers, as an instrument allowing one to glimpse into the future or understand the will of the gods. You notice how all these aspects, from scientific to mystical, create a multi-layered understanding of the purpose of the Antikythera mechanism, leaving room for your imagination. You once again realize that the true purpose of this artifact remains a subject of deep debate among historians and archaeologists, as each new analysis and discovery only adds more mysteries to its already rich history. Regardless, you feel that this mechanism perhaps was not just an instrument, but a symbol of an entire epoch when knowledge and faith intersected, creating a unique philosophical space. You allow yourself to ponder that even in today's world, filled with technology and scientific discoveries, there are questions that still await answers. Feeling the waves of time continue to wash over your mind, you deepen your reflections on the connection between science and mysticism, on how ancient people sought truth in stars and mechanisms, leaving us a legacy that inspires awe and the desire to understand. Each breath fills you with a sense of deep unity with these thoughts, immersing you in a world where knowledge is not just a tool, but a part of a spiritual path. You begin to feel how this connection to the past opens new horizons of understanding, and how important it is to preserve this spark of curiosity and the drive to learn, which was inherent in our ancestors. You allow yourself to enjoy this meditation, feeling how your attention, like the light of a star, is directed towards the study of the ancient world, its mysteries and discoveries. You continue to move smoothly through your thoughts, and the idea of the Antikythera mechanism becomes a window into an extraordinary world of lost ancient knowledge. You realize that this artifact, which once served as a link between people and the heavens, could be just the tip of the iceberg, hiding much more extensive and complex technologies that were known to ancient civilizations. You can feel your imagination beginning to paint pictures of long-forgotten skills and technologies that people might have once used, living in harmony with nature and the cosmos. It's as if this mechanism holds secrets that could change your understanding of human development, and you wonder what other inventions might have existed but were lost forever. You feel a deep sense of respect for the wisdom and ingenuity of those who lived thousands of years ago. Perhaps they possessed knowledge of mechanics, astronomy, and even physics that we are only beginning to understand and study today. You allow yourself to imagine how ancient scholars could pass their knowledge down through generations, creating entire schools of thought where science and philosophy intertwined in a single stream. With each breath, you delve deeper into this thought, realizing that the existence of the Antikythera mechanism raises many questions about how advanced the civilizations of its time were. You feel a slight thrill as you understand that this discovery could be the key to unraveling many mysteries that have remained unsolved. As you continue to explore this topic, you notice that human history is filled with gaps, and perhaps it is these gaps that hide great achievements that were forgotten or even intentionally concealed. You ponder the importance of maintaining this curiosity and desire for knowledge to avoid losing the opportunity to open up new horizons. You feel that each step on this path could lead to new discoveries and understanding. You allow yourself to be immersed in these thoughts, feeling as your consciousness expands, opening new boundaries of perception. You can almost feel the ancient civilizations that once flourished speaking to you through their achievements and artifacts, leaving traces of their wisdom in every detail. Feeling this connection, you understand that the desire to study and comprehend this legacy could become your personal journey, leading to an understanding not only of history, but also of yourself. You notice how these reflections fill you with inspiration and tranquility, creating harmony between your inner world and the great mysteries of the past. You allow yourself to pause for a moment to simply enjoy this feeling, letting the sounds of antiquity and knowledge fill your consciousness like light piercing through clouds, illuminating the path to new discoveries. As you delve deeper into the mysteries of the Antikythera mechanism, you begin to realize that the 21st century has been a true breakthrough in its study thanks to modern technologies. You imagine scientists, armed with the latest advancements, exploring this enigmatic artifact, much like archaeologists uncovering ancient treasures. With computed tomography, they can peer inside the mechanism without causing harm, and you see layers of metal and complex mechanisms becoming visible, as if hidden secrets are beginning to unfold before you. With each new discovery, your curiosity grows as researchers meticulously analyze every detail, each gear and each plate becoming part of a broader history. You can almost hear the sounds of their tools, like the soft rustle of paper and the clicks of keys, as they create three-dimensional models, allowing you to see how this mechanism functioned in its time. These models, like digital windows into the past, help restore its original appearance and provide insight into how it was used for predicting astronomical events and even tracking solar and lunar cycles. You understand that this mechanism was not just an instrument, but a work of art that combined science and craftsmanship, and your imagination paints pictures of its creators proudly displaying their work. You feel the enthusiasm of the scientists who continue to study and unravel its secrets transmitted to you, and there is something magical in this. Your thoughts turn to the importance of preserving this legacy so that future generations can continue to explore and uncover new horizons based on the knowledge of their ancestors. Your soul fills with a sense of unity with those who lived thousands of years ago, and you realize that their achievements still hold meaning and inspire new discoveries. You notice how this connection between past and present creates a unique atmosphere where history and science intertwine, like the currents of a river system, forming a complete and harmonious whole. In this process, you feel part of something greater than just individual research. It is a collective effort uniting the minds and hearts of scientists from around the world, striving to unravel the mysteries of the past. You allow yourself to enjoy this thought and realize that each new discovery, each new reconstruction, not only brings you closer to understanding the Antikythera mechanism, but also opens doors to new mysteries waiting to be solved. Your soul is filled with tranquility when you remember that science is an endless path of amazing discoveries that can change your perception of the world and your place in it, and you feel how this knowledge fills you with warmth and inspiration. You can feel your breath becoming steady and calm as you allow yourself to immerse in this world where modernity meets antiquity, and each moment brings new perspectives and understanding. Your heart fills with gratitude for the opportunity to be a part of this extraordinary process, and you realize that each step on this path is not only a discovery for you, but also a possibility for all of humanity. You continue your journey along this mysterious corridor of time, and your imagination paints pictures where the Antikythera mechanism is more than just a simple artifact. It's a true window into the wondrous world of ancient knowledge. You feel how its study rewrites the history of the development of science and technology, revealing countless secrets that were once hidden. It's as if every breath you take merges with the whisper of wisdom contained within this unique device, and you understand that it is not just an instrument, but a true testament to the genius of ancient minds. You envision ancient Greek scholars reaching for the stars, inventing this mechanism to predict celestial events, and your heart fills with awe at their desire to understand the world around them. You begin to realize that this mechanism, like a precious gem, shines not only with scientific achievements, but also with cultural heritage that continues to inspire us in our quest for truth and knowledge. You feel the waves of time washing over your thoughts, allowing you to delve deeper into contemplation of how many more amazing secrets the past holds, waiting for its researchers in the future. You can almost hear the voices of scientists, like guardians of these mysteries, continuing their research, and in their voices, you hear the hope for new discoveries that could change our understanding of history. Each new study, each new reconstruction of this mechanism opens doors to unexplored worlds where science and art harmoniously intertwine, creating extraordinary prospects. You feel your consciousness expanding as you allow yourself to imagine that each step on this path is not just for you, but for all of humanity. You feel a sense of unity with those who lived centuries ago, understanding that their pursuit of knowledge continues to live within you. This realization makes your breath even and calm, as if you are in the very center of a peaceful ocean, where each wave brings new ideas and understanding. You allow yourself to sink into this thought, feeling it fill you with warmth and inspiration, like sunlight breaking through clouds. Your soul finds peace when you realize that studying the Antikythera mechanism is not just a scientific process, but a path to self-discovery and the opening of new horizons that await your exploration. You feel yourself part of this great history, where each new fact, each detail, becomes a part of an amazing tapestry woven from the knowledge and wisdom of our ancestors. This tapestry continues to expand, and you eagerly await the new discoveries that will soon be revealed to you. Like light piercing through dark clouds, filling your heart with hope and the desire for knowledge. You continue your journey through the vast expanses of history and knowledge, and another extraordinary mystery unfolds before you, captivating with its mystical allure. In your imagination, you see an ancient book, dusty with the passage of time, its pages inscribed with enigmatic symbols and illustrations that remain incomprehensible to humanity. This is the Voynich Manuscript, a unique artifact written by an unknown author in an unknown time, possibly the 15th century. You feel the magic of this book drawing you in, like a magnet, and immersing you in a world filled with questions and conjectures. You picture it, hidden away in cold, dark archives among other forgotten books, waiting for its discovery like a mysterious creature concealing its true nature. Your imagination transports you to 2012, when Polish book dealer Wilfrid Voynich, wandering through the ancient streets of Italy, stumbles upon this mysterious manuscript in an antique shop. You see his heart skip a beat with excitement as he takes it in his hands, feeling the cold pages touch his fingertips as if they are sharing a whisper of their secret with him. Your soul fills with awe as you realize that this moment marked the beginning of a new path for the Voynich Manuscript, revealing itself to the modern world. It is not just a book, but a cosmic enigma, brimming with unsolved mysteries. You feel your breath slow as you anticipate the opportunity to delve into its contents and attempt to decipher the secrets it holds. Illustrations depicting strange plants, astronomical diagrams, and cryptic symbols seem to whisper to you, inviting you into their world of wondrous discoveries. You notice that in the scientific community, the Voynich Manuscript has become the subject of unending research, with scholars from around the globe attempting to decipher its message, but to no avail. You sense an atmosphere of mystery and enchantment in this research process, where each attempt at decipherment only fuels the fascination with this book, like a flame that never dies. You can almost feel the generations of researchers who have tried to understand what lies behind these pages, their work filled with hope and disappointment. Your soul is filled with wonder as you realize that the Voynich Manuscript, remaining undeciphered, serves as a reminder of how much is still unknown in our world. You allow yourself to ponder the mysteries that may be hidden in other corners of history, waiting for their discovery. Your mind fills with images of forgotten artifacts, waiting for their researchers, like stars in the night sky, ready to shine at the first spark of curiosity. You feel your heart fill with a desire for knowledge and discovery, and in that moment, you understand that the world is full of incredible mysteries, waiting for someone to unravel them. You take a deep breath, allowing yourself to immerse in this atmosphere of uncertainty, and your peace fills the space around you, like a quiet evening when the stars begin to twinkle in the sky, each telling its own story. You continue your journey through the waves of time, and your attention is drawn to the spontaneous flow of images emanating from the pages of the Voynich Manuscript. You see how on these pages a whole world unfolds, filled with peculiar plants that seem to have no counterparts in nature. Each leaf, Each twig appears alive, as if they could whisper their ancient secrets to you. You notice that some of the plants have leaves resembling forms you have seen before, but their color and texture are completely unusual. They shimmer with all the colors of the rainbow, as if they have gathered the light of the sun and reflected it back. These plants seem to grow in conditions that are inaccessible to you. They live in a world where the laws of nature may be different, and magic permeates every cell of their existence. You feel a light tremor as you try to imagine what properties these plants might have. Perhaps they possess healing powers, or perhaps they serve as keys to understanding the deep laws of the universe. The astronomical diagrams depicted on the pages evoke a sense of deep contemplation. They seem complex and mysterious, as if they bear secret knowledge about the cosmos, accessible only to the chosen few. You see circles, stars, and lines connecting them, and your thoughts carry you to the vast expanses where time and space intertwine into a single whole. You can almost hear the whisper of the stars as they recount their journeys through the universe, and this fills you with a sense of unity with the infinite. On the pages, you also notice strange human figures depicted in peculiar poses and with enigmatic expressions. These figures seem to be performing rituals or observing celestial bodies. Their movements are full of grace and mystery. Your heart stops for a moment at this sight, and you feel as if you are witnessing something that escapes your understanding. Every element, every detail on these pages fills your imagination with new questions. Who were these people, and what secrets were they trying to uncover? You allow yourself to be drawn into this ocean of mysteries, and your breath becomes deeper, as if you are absorbing all this magic imprinted on the pages. Your soul fills with a sense of peace and wonder as you realize that each of these illustrations is like a window into another world, waiting to be explored. You can feel time slowing down, and each moment of this meditation becomes an eternity filled with possibilities. You breathe in again, allowing yourself to dissolve into this extraordinary journey, where each discovery takes you deeper into the atmosphere of magic and mystery. You continue your journey, and your attention is once again drawn to the enigma of the Voynich Manuscript, a mystery that has puzzled researchers for centuries. You delve into history, for behind the attempts to decipher this text stand hundreds of cryptographers, linguists, and scientists whose efforts remain fruitless, like stars wandering the night sky without finding their place. Your imagination paints pictures of people like Herbert O. Yardley, a renowned cryptographer who broke codes during World War II. You can picture him sitting in his office, surrounded by pages filled with mysterious symbols, with hope and excitement in his heart, as if they hold the keys to secrets that could change the world. You feel his mind working at its limits, analyzing each letter, each line, in the hope of breaking a code that defies all known systems of encryption or languages. You hear his thoughts pulsing in the silence, creating an atmosphere of tense expectation, much like the air before a storm fills with electricity. Research continues, and each new approach, each new theory, only adds more questions without providing answers. You feel this endless pursuit of knowledge as scientists strive to determine whether this text was created in jest or contains deep knowledge hidden behind a veil of mysteries. You notice how, in the process of deciphering, researchers turn to various methods, from statistical analysis to linguistic studies, from comparing it with other ancient texts to using computer algorithms. Each approach, each new methodology, is a step into the unknown, and you feel a deep respect for those who dare to challenge this complex enigma. You become curious about the emotions researchers must have felt when they realized that each of their steps could be in vain. Yet their passion for solving the mystery continues to drive them forward. Your soul is filled with a sense of connection to these people who sought answers like treasure hunters in the vast expanse of the unknown. For centuries, the Voynich Manuscript has remained untouchable, and you understand that there is a special magic in this. Magic that awakens people's thirst for knowledge and desire to explore. You allow yourself to ponder whether the true value of this manuscript lies not only in its content, but also in how it inspires people to seek and discover. You feel time slow down, and each thought becomes a part of this magical journey where past and future intertwine in a single flow. You breathe deeply, allowing yourself to immerse in this atmosphere of mystery, where every moment becomes a precious opportunity for reflection and discovery, and you continue your path through the pages of this enigmatic world. You continue to explore the enigma of the Voynich Manuscript, and your attention is drawn to its unique linguistic and statistical anomalies, which only add more mysteries to this undeciphered book. You notice that the text possesses certain linguistic features that can cause surprise in anyone who decides to delve into its study. For instance, there is an interesting frequency of symbols. Some letters appear much more often than others, creating a certain harmony that resembles the rhythm of music. You can imagine researchers armed with statistical methods analyzing these frequencies, trying to uncover patterns and perhaps keys to the mystery. However, despite all these peculiarities, the text lacks meaning in known languages, making it even more enigmatic. You feel a deep respect for those who attempt to find meaning in these symbols. As each new look at the text awakens in you a sense that you are on the verge of a great discovery. You observe that certain words appear only in specific sections of the manuscript, creating the effect of isolated fragments, as if they are pieces of a puzzle that cannot be assembled into a single picture. Your imagination paints pictures of researchers, like detectives, trying to find connections between these fragments, asking themselves why these words and phrases were chosen for certain parts of the text. Each new discovery stirs your curiosity, making you ponder the possible meanings and contexts hidden behind these symbols. Additionally, you notice that some symbols seem to have no counterparts in known alphabets, and this discovery fills you with a sense of wondrous excitement. You realize that this could mean that the Voynich Manuscript uses a unique writing system, possibly created specifically to convey some hidden knowledge or ideas. Your intuition tells you that each letter, each symbol, is not just a graphical element, but a whole universe filled with meanings and possibilities. You continue to delve into these reflections, allowing yourself to feel as your consciousness expands with each new understanding. You breathe slowly and deeply, allowing yourself to be part of this incredible journey, where each discovery becomes a new step in the search for meaning, and it seems as if the symbols of the manuscript themselves whisper their secrets to you, waiting for someone to finally decipher them. In this moment, you understand that your connection with this ancient book deepens, and you feel as if the mysterious world it opens embraces you with its magic, making you ponder the endless possibilities that may lie beyond our understanding. You continue to delve into the world of the Voynich Manuscript, exploring its chronological context, and feel time flowing like water cascading from the mountains to a tranquil lake. Your thoughts turn to the radiocarbon analysis conducted in 2009, which established that the parchment on which this enigmatic text is written was created in the early 15th century, around the years 1444 to 1430. You imagine skilled craftsmen armed with delicate tools, working with animal skins, transforming them into sheets ready to bear secrets and riddles. This period, the early Renaissance, is filled with a spirit of discovery and a thirst for knowledge, and you feel inspired by it. You understand that significant cultural, scientific, and artistic changes were occurring during this historical period as humanity began to reassess its place in the world, giving your interpretation of the Voynich Manuscript special significance. You sense that each page, each symbol, created during the time when great minds like Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo were beginning their journey to immortal fame, seems to echo their aspirations and discoveries. This temporal context excludes the idea of later forgeries, adding layers to the already profound enigma. This thought fills you with a sense of sacred responsibility. What is it like to be part of a research that might shed light on mysteries that have remained unsolved for centuries? You can almost hear the whisper of history as ancient scholars sought answers to questions similar to those you are asking yourself now. Your soul is filled with respect for those who came before you, and you feel your heart beating in sync with the rhythm of time, where each second becomes part of this endless quest. You allow yourself to envision the Voynich Manuscript being created in the midst of dusty libraries and mysterious alchemical laboratories, where the laws of nature and magic were studied. This image envelops you, and you feel your consciousness expanding, striving to encompass not only the content of the text, but also the atmosphere in which it was born. You breathe slowly and deeply, absorbing this information as if it were part of your journey. Each detail, each historical context, becomes a key opening doors to a world where knowledge and mystery intertwine, creating an infinite web of possibilities. Your connection to the Voynich Manuscript deepens, and you feel it becoming not just an object of research, but a living entity filled with history and riddles. waiting to be understood and deciphered. You continue your meditative journey through the pages of the Voynich Manuscript, and your thoughts begin to explore the myriad theories surrounding this enigmatic text. You feel as if each hypothesis takes shape, like clouds slowly drifting across the sky. The first theory that catches your attention is the suggestion that the text may be encrypted material, possibly a medical treatise containing knowledge of healing plants and their properties. You imagine medieval scholars, driven by a desire to understand, laboring over their records, aiming to create a compendium of knowledge that could aid people in their daily lives. You can almost smell the fresh herbs and roots as you consider this idea. Meanwhile, there is a theory that the Voynich Manuscript could be an alchemical text filled with symbolism and metaphors intended for the initiated. This evokes an image of a mysterious light piercing the darkness, like a sunbeam entering a cave. You allow yourself to immerse in this atmosphere, feeling as the rhythms of ancient science and magic intertwine like river currents carrying you into uncharted waters. Your curiosity leads you to the next theory, which posits that the manuscript could have been written in a unique, long-forgotten language. You imagine a person, possibly isolated from society, creating their own alphabet and system of symbols that reflected their inner world and perception of reality. This thought fills you with pity and deep respect for this unknown author, who may also have been seeking understanding and connection with the world around them. Your soul feels a sense of unity with this person, as if you both are on the same wavelength, striving to express what is difficult to put into words. But there are also more radical theories that suggest the text could have been created by someone with mental illness. You pause on this thought, allowing it to gently enter your consciousness. You can feel how this perspective adds a certain humanity to the text, as each symbol represents a person seeking solace, understanding, or even just a way to express their inner turmoil. You can picture this person sitting in their corner of the world, surrounded by papers and ink, lost in their thoughts and feelings, which are hard to contain within the confines of ordinary language. You breathe slowly, immersing yourself in the emotional ocean that this theory evokes in you. Each of these hypotheses creates a new wave of inspiration and awe, filling your heart with a desire for knowledge and understanding. You notice how all these different approaches and theories, like threads, interweave into a single whole, creating a complex pattern that continues to captivate you. You allow yourself to ponder how remarkable it is that one manuscript can generate so many questions and debates, remaining unsolved for centuries. This thought fills you with a sense of eternal research and the pursuit of understanding, making you feel as if your own consciousness is opening up to new possibilities and ideas. Your connection with the Voynich Manuscript deepens, and you understand that each theory, each perspective on this text, is like a drop of water, adding its part to the ocean of knowledge and mysteries that you are eager to explore. You take a deep breath, allowing yourself to dive into this infinite depth where research and mystery form an endless cycle, inviting you to continue your journey into the world of knowledge and discovery. You continue to delve into the world of the Voynich Manuscript, and your thoughts begin to drift towards another mysterious theory, which suggests that this manuscript could have been a brilliant hoax. You imagine an alchemist or a scientist, perhaps driven by a desire for fame and the wish to deceive their contemporaries. In your mind, you start to ponder how the manuscript could have become not just a book, but a true work of art, created to sell dreams and illusions. Perhaps your thoughts carry you to a world where each symbol has its own history, where each page is filled with expectations and hopes, but also where each line hides emptiness. You feel a sense of awe and a touch of sadness, for behind every creation stands a person who may never have been properly appreciated. Some researchers claim that the very lack of meaningful content makes this theory particularly appealing. You notice how your thoughts begin to dance around this idea, like water streams twisting under the sun's rays. This manuscript, perhaps, was created to deceive, to make people believe in something that never existed. You allow yourself to imagine how this mysterious book could have become a subject of debate and discussion, inspiring people to research and search, even when it contained nothing but mad signs and beautiful illustrations. You take a deep breath, allowing yourself to feel how each inhale fills you with a sense of lightness and wonder. How fascinating and captivating it is that one manuscript can be both a masterpiece and a hoax, creating a bridge between history and fiction. You realize that each theory, each hypothesis about this mysterious book like magical sparks, ignites your imagination and opens new horizons for contemplation. You let yourself sink into this endless depth where reality and fantasy merge, and you feel your heart beating in rhythm with the ancient mysteries that await their moment to be revealed. You feel your consciousness expanding as if you are under an open sky, and each symbol of the Voynich Manuscript becomes a part of this boundless cosmos, where there are no limits to your imagination and your desire for knowledge. You continue to explore the cultural and historical significance of the Voynich Manuscript, and your thoughts delve into its uniqueness as an artifact that has inspired awe and curiosity for several centuries. You feel as if this manuscript is more than just text. It is a true symbol of humanity's quest for knowledge and the unraveling of mysteries that elude our grasp. Researchers continue to delve into its pages, like a dense forest filled with hidden paths and unexpected turns, and you feel their passion for uncovering new frontiers of knowledge resonating within you. You imagine people over the centuries trying to decipher its symbols, studying each illustration and page as if they were searching not just for text, but for the essence of human understanding. Surrounded by an aura of mystery, this book serves as a reminder that even the most unknowable things can inspire new research and discoveries. You realize that, regardless of whether this manuscript was created as a joke or a serious work, it has become a catalyst for a whole field of research that encompasses not only cryptography and linguistics, but also the history of science as a whole. You feel as if this book, like a secret key, opens doors to new knowledge and new questions about what language is, how it is formed, and how it can be used to convey ideas. You understand that the Voynich Manuscript, despite its enigmatic nature, is a significant milestone in history, underscoring how knowledge can be both a gift and a riddle. Your imagination takes you back to the era when this manuscript was written, and you can almost feel a part of that intellectual atmosphere where every symbol has meaning and every illustration speaks to something important, even if it is not always clear. This book, perhaps, does not provide answers, but it poses questions that remain relevant today, driving us to explore, and you allow yourself to linger in this feeling of inspiration and mystery. You feel a desire to learn more, to investigate, to ask questions, and how this attempt to grasp the unknown becomes an integral part of your own journey. The Voynich Manuscript is not just text, it is a whole universe of possibilities, where each person can find something that resonates with their inner aspirations and dreams. You understand that this manuscript is not only a mystery, but also a living testament to human thought, which continues to evolve, inspiring future generations to seek answers in a world filled with secrets and wonders. You pose questions that remain unanswered, and your mind begins to glide smoothly over the surface of the enigma of the Voynich Manuscript. Who was the author of this opaque code, hidden behind pages filled with beautiful illustrations and strange symbols? You ponder who it was written for, perhaps for the chosen few, for scholars who could unravel its secrets, or maybe for future generations who would try to understand its message. Your imagination paints pictures of various eras where this book could have been an important artifact, shrouded in mystery. Each symbol seems to you like a key opening doors to worlds you never suspected existed, and you feel your heart flutter with excitement. You realize that this manuscript could have been more than just an experiment, but an attempt to preserve knowledge that might otherwise be lost to time. Like so many other texts that did not survive to our days, you delve into thoughts about how often knowledge and wisdom have been in danger of disappearing, and how crucial it is to preserve them. You can picture people across different eras trying to understand the meaning of the written words, seeking in them a reflection of their time, their concerns, and their hopes. This book, despite its enigmatic nature, has become a symbol of humanity's quest for understanding, and you feel this thought embrace you like a warm blanket, creating a sense of comfort and tranquility. Your soul is filled with peace as you imagine researchers and scholars around the world continuing to study its pages, each one potentially revealing a new perspective on history, language, and the very essence of human existence. You wonder what it is like to be part of this great search, where each step brings us closer to understanding, and each symbol is a step on an endless path of knowledge. You realize that despite the lack of answers, it is the questions that define our existence, and in this search, you find your inspiration. You let your thoughts wander freely, feeling as if each new idea lifts you higher, creating a sense of lightness and freedom, as if you are floating above this mysterious world filled with secrets and possibilities. You understand that the Voynich Manuscript, with its endless questions and riddles, is not just an artifact, but a true symbol of the eternal quest for knowledge, which will inspire minds and hearts for generations to come. Each page of this book is an invitation to reflection, to the search for answers to questions that will never lose their relevance. You immerse yourself in these thoughts, allowing yourself to feel how each question fills you with new ideas and inspiration, as if you yourself are becoming a part of this great and mysterious history. The Voynich Manuscript remains one of the most enduring cryptographic enigmas in the world. It is like a whispered secret from the past, persistently calling out to researchers and enthusiasts of mysteries. You feel as if an invisible thread of time connects you to people who lived centuries ago, when each symbol and illustration could have been bearers of ideas and knowledge that may have been lost forever. This silent testimony of lost knowledge, perhaps a genius deception or something else that still eludes understanding, stirs your imagination with various versions of the story that could lie behind this manuscript. Imagine you realize that this book has become a symbol of eternal quest, the search for answers to questions that have troubled humanity for centuries. Each time you think about it, you immerse yourself in an ocean of possibilities, where each wave brings new riddles and new thoughts, like stars guiding your path. Surrounded by an aura of mystery, this manuscript continues to inspire researchers, scientists, and dreamers who strive to unravel its secrets, as if each deciphered line could be a key to understanding oneself and one's place in this vast world. You allow yourself to be part of this endless journey, letting your thoughts flow freely, like a river winding its way through stones and obstacles. In this flow, you feel your consciousness expanding, opening up to new ideas and possibilities that could change your perception of reality. You understand that, although this book remains unsolved, it contains an infinite number of questions that can inspire not only scientific research, but also personal reflections on the meaning of life. And in this deep, meditative state, you allow yourself to be drawn into a world of mysteries and riddles, where each thought and sensation becomes part of the great search that will continue as long as humanity exists. You allow yourself to continue this journey, and your imagination transports you to the 1930s, when archaeologists exploring ancient lands near Baghdad stumbled upon something extraordinary. You find yourself there, amidst dust and excavations, feeling a light breeze that brings with it the scent of ancient history. These digs, filled with mysteries, open up a world that was once teeming with life and knowledge. Initially, the find is seen as a typical artifact, but soon scientists begin to discuss the possibility that it could be an ancient electrical device. You feel your consciousness immersing itself in this idea, and a shiver runs through you as you realize that perhaps in ancient times, people possessed knowledge that we still cannot fully comprehend. You can almost feel the moment when researchers understood that this pot could be part of a technology that shouldn't have existed then. This discovery, known as the Baghdad Battery, fills you with wonder and endless questions. How could these ancient people have created a device capable of producing electricity? You allow yourself to ponder what it might have been like to live in a time when the mysteries of nature were still unexplored, and each new question opened up a new world of possibilities. Scientists still debate the purpose of this device. Some believe it could have been used for medicinal purposes, while others suggest it might have been used for galvanization or even for creating gold. You feel these discussions transport you into a world of theoretical ideas and hypotheses, and each new suggestion becomes a key to understanding how people in the past viewed their reality. You notice how your imagination paints pictures of ancient laboratories where wise men and alchemists sought ways to control the forces of nature, and you realize that each discovery, like the Baghdad Battery, becomes a bridge between the past and the present. This find, surrounded by an aura of mystery, continues to inspire researchers and dreamers who strive to unravel its secrets. You allow yourself to be drawn into this whirlwind of ideas and reflections, feeling your consciousness expand, opening up to new possibilities and depths of understanding. You understand that studying these ancient artifacts not only helps us understand the past, but also makes us question how far we have come in our pursuit of knowledge and how much more there is still to learn. In this stream of thoughts, you feel a deep sense of peace and connection with those who lived centuries ago. And each new question that arises in your consciousness becomes an integral part of this great quest that continues to inspire humanity throughout the ages. Allow your imagination to delve into the details of the construction of the Baghdad Battery, and your inner world is filled with images that bring this ancient artifact to life. Imagine a small clay pot hiding a secret. Its form is simple, yet it is in this simplicity that something extraordinary lies. Inside this pot is a copper cylinder that seems to provide the key to understanding its purpose. You hear a soft sound, like a distant echo, as the image of this cylinder, surrounded by dark space filled with mysteries, flashes through your mind. You realize that this battery could have been created during the period from approximately 250 years before our era to 250 years after our era, during the Parthian or Sassanid era, when cultures flourished on the territory of present-day Iran, leaving us with many secrets and mysteries. Your imagination paints pictures of those times when craftsmen perhaps worked on creating such devices, exploring the properties of metals and the interaction of various materials. You feel your consciousness opening to new ideas, and each new detail of your inner portrait of the Baghdad Battery makes you ponder how little we know about what came before us. You feel a slight excitement as you consider the possibilities that may have opened up to ancient people who used this device. What were their thoughts and feelings when they first saw how the dark power of nature could be captured in a simple vessel? You allow yourself to be immersed in this stream of thought, feeling as your imagination continues to build a world where technologies could be part of everyday life, even if they were shrouded in mystery. You understand that each discovery like this becomes not only a window into the past, but also a source of inspiration for future generations who strive to unravel the mysteries left by our ancestors. As you continue along the winding paths of ancient times, the image of Wilhelm König, a German archaeologist, emerges in your mind. In 1938, he made a bold suggestion regarding the functionality of the Baghdad Battery. You feel the air around you charged with the energy of his discoveries, as if each of his steps on the ground, as he explored this mysterious artifact, left traces of inspiration in your imagination. Koenig proposed an intriguing theory that this artifact might not just be a curious historical object, but a functional galvanic element. You can picture him standing before this remarkable vessel, pondering how ancient people might have used it to generate electricity. Vivid images arise. Imagine the acetic acid or grape juice flowing along the inner walls of the vessel, creating a unique environment for an electrochemical reaction. In your imagination, this simple liquid transforms into something extraordinary, capable of generating a weak electric current ranging from 0 to 2 volts. It is delightful to realize that such a seemingly simple device could have had an impact on the lives of people in that time. You pause to take a deep breath, filling your lungs, and then with each exhale, allow yourself to contemplate how even a small amount of electricity could open doors to new possibilities. What must it have been like when people first felt they could control the forces of nature? You lose yourself in thought, and it seems as if you can almost hear the whispers of those who used the Baghdad Battery, discussing their ideas and dreams of making their lives easier and more convenient. Your heart fills with curiosity as you imagine ancient artisans possibly using these electrical impulses in their rituals, or to create amazing effects that left spectators in awe. This is not just an opportunity, but a powerful reminder of how knowledge and technology can flourish, even in the shadows. You realize that each new look at the Baghdad Battery opens up a world full of wonders and possibilities, where ancient wisdom merges with modern scientific discoveries. You let your imagination flow freely, and new ideas begin to take shape in your mind, perhaps waiting for the right moment to be revealed in the future. Your peaceful walk through this extraordinary place continues to lead you to new insights, and you understand that every detail, every nuance in your thoughts about the Baghdad Battery is part of a larger picture where past, present, and future flow together as one. You continue to delve into a world where science and history intertwine, and your imagination is filled with images of modern researchers and enthusiasts, inspired by Wilhelm König's discoveries, who undertake the reconstruction of the Baghdad Battery. Whoa. You can picture scientists gathering in laboratories around the world under the soft glow of desk lamps, to restore this ancient artifact, as if they are not only trying to recreate the device, but also the spirit of the time in which it was created. They take jars similar to those found in Iraq, carefully place solutions like vinegar or lemon juice in them, and connect copper and iron elements to see if their work will be successful. You feel a thrill when you learn that these experiments indeed confirm the possibility of generating electricity. Several research groups, using similar constructions, have been able to create small electric currents sufficient to power LED bulbs that emit a soft, warm light. With this light, they illuminate their laboratories as if bringing ancient ideas and dreams back to life. You can imagine the light flickering in the darkness, creating an atmosphere of mystery and wonder, and how researchers, observing this marvelous process, discuss how ancient craftsmen could have used this technology in their rituals or for other purposes. Your imagination takes you back in time, and you see people gathering around glowing objects created with these simple yet effective technologies in the squares of ancient cities. You feel your imagination painting pictures where light plays a central role, illuminating dark corners and creating magical images. This sharpens your sense of connection between the past and the present, where ancient ideas find new life and are applied in our modern world. You realize that these experiments are not just a demonstration of the scientific process, but also a significant step in understanding how ancient civilizations perceived and utilized the world around them. Each new experiment, each successful reconstruction, seems to open a new chapter in this story, where knowledge and curiosity become guiding stars. You can feel the fresh air filling your lungs, and new questions arise in your mind. How can such small steps in restoring ancient technologies change our understanding of history? What other discoveries await us? You allow yourself to linger on these thoughts, and your heart fills with hope and anticipation. Each new look at the Baghdad Battery, it seems, opens a world full of wonders, where ancient wisdom merges with modern scientific achievements. You continue your journey, and your imagination soars freely, opening new horizons and possibilities that may arise from this amazing yet simple device. You continue to delve into a world where ancient technologies intersect with modern interpretations, and each new perspective on the Baghdad Battery opens up endless possibilities for its use. You can imagine how in the workshops of ancient craftsmen, surrounded by the aromas of wax and metal, ideas were born that could change the perception of the world. These devices may have been used not only for generating electricity, but also for achieving deeper goals, such as galvanization. You can feel how your thoughts transport you to an era when jewelers, using electricity, covered metal surfaces with a thin layer of gold or silver, creating magnificent pieces that sparkled like stars in the night sky. Archaeologists like Arne Eggebrecht have found traces of such technologies, and you can picture how their art combined with magic, with light reflections from gold giving the objects a special aura. This connection between the scientific and the mystical opens up new horizons of understanding. Perhaps electricity was used not only for beauty, but also to create something greater, a kind of magic that could awe people and inspire reverence. You begin to feel a slight excitement as you imagine how in temples lit by soft light, statues of gods could flicker with electric impulses, creating the illusion of life and magic. You can see how priests used this effect to strengthen people's faith, making them feel that gods were truly present among them. This aspect may also include medical purposes, where electricity was used as a means of pain relief. You can picture how healers of that time, with intuition and knowledge, could use electric discharges to ease the sufferings of their patients, creating methods that were ahead of their time. The idea that ancient people could consciously use electricity to improve the quality of life fills you with a sense of wonder. You feel how your thoughts penetrate the depths of history, and you begin to ponder what wonders could have been created with such simple devices as the Baghdad Battery. You can imagine how in the hands of ancient craftsmen, these artifacts transformed into tools that connected the material and spiritual worlds, creating extraordinary moments that were etched into people's memories for centuries. This magic, this possibility of uniting science and wonder, makes your heart beat faster as you realize that even in simplicity, there can be hidden incredible mysteries. Each new discovery related to the Baghdad Battery seems to lift a veil on a world where electricity played a crucial role not only in technological progress, but also in the spiritual life of people. You allow yourself to sink into these thoughts, and your imagination continues to paint pictures where light and energy become symbols of hope and transformation, and each step on this path leads to new understandings and discoveries. As you delve deeper into the enigmatic world of the Baghdad Battery, your mind begins to grasp the context in which these remarkable artifacts were discovered. You envision archaeological excavations where, beneath layers of earth and time, these relics lay hidden, like ancient secrets waiting to be revealed. Each discovery is surrounded by an atmosphere of anticipation, and you feel a surge of excitement as you realize that every fragment of clay and metal holds a story filled with mysteries. However, despite the efforts of researchers, you notice that, like many other ancient technologies, there are no direct written records that unequivocally confirm the use of these batteries for electrical purposes. You may feel a touch of disappointment when you realize that over the centuries, as humanity sought understanding, many mysteries remained unsolved. This uncertainty, the lack of clear records or images confirming their purpose, creates an atmosphere of speculation and contemplation, where each scientist and historian offers their hypotheses and theories. You observe how this fact underscores the fragility of our knowledge of the past. Sometimes even simple things like clay vessels can contain more questions than answers. Your imagination begins to paint pictures of how ancient people might have used these devices in their rituals or for practical needs, but without clear evidence, their true purpose remains shrouded in mystery. You may feel how this uncertainty creates space for your own imagination. You start to wonder what ideas and discoveries could be connected to these artifacts if only we had written records that could shed light on their use. Perhaps this is the magic of the Baghdad Battery, to leave room for your own reflections and fantasies, allowing you to journey through the centuries where each new look at it opens up new horizons and possibilities. You feel your consciousness filled with images and questions, and this journey through the labyrinth of antiquity becomes not just a study of facts, but a search for a connection with those who lived in those distant times. This connection, though intangible, allows you to feel part of the great human history, where each discovery is a step closer to understanding our roots and our place in this endless stream of time. You continue to delve into this captivating subject, realizing that the Baghdad Battery is not merely an artifact, but a symbol of lost technology, about which debates and discussions persist to this day. How could such an extraordinary technology, capable of generating electricity, have emerged and then been entirely forgotten for centuries? You begin to ponder whether ancient civilizations possessed knowledge and skills that we are unable to comprehend today. Imagine people living in harmony with nature, utilizing their environment's resources to create devices that could seem like magic to us. You feel a sense of awe as you realize that in their world, electricity might have had a completely different significance than in ours. Perhaps it was not just a means of illumination or powering machines, but something deeper and more connected to rituals, the interaction between people and nature. But how could this knowledge have vanished? You wonder if it became a victim of time as civilizations rose and fell, and wars and disasters carried away not only people, but also their knowledge. Your imagination paints pictures of ancient libraries, where manuscripts describing these technologies might have been stored, but over time they rotted or were destroyed. You can almost hear the rustle of pages that were once filled with wisdom, now reduced to a mere shadow in historical memory. Research shows that even in later centuries, when electricity was rediscovered, many of these knowledge were lost, and humanity had to start anew in understanding its nature. You feel that in this context, the Baghdad Battery becomes a symbol not only of the lost, but also of humanity's pursuit of knowledge. As you begin to grasp this connection, a sense of unity with those who once used these devices arises within you, even if their purpose remains a mystery. Perhaps it is this very mystery that makes the Baghdad Battery so intriguing. It encourages you to explore not only its physical existence, but also the cultural and philosophical aspects of its history. You notice how your thoughts smoothly transition from contemplating the past to the present, where technologies continue to advance, but with each step forward, we also lose something precious from our history. This realization evokes deep feelings. You understand that each epoch, each generation has its discoveries and losses, and perhaps this is the essence of the human experience. Your soul is filled with gratitude for the opportunity to explore these mysteries, for the chance to be a part of this endless stream of time, where each step forward is an opportunity to peer into the depths of the past and enrich your understanding of the present. You feel that this journey fills you with serenity and peace, allowing you to connect with those who lived before you and those who will live after you, creating a chain of continuous knowledge-seeking that will never break. You feel as if your consciousness is gradually opening up to new ideas as you delve into contemplation of other potentially advanced technologies that existed in ancient civilizations. The Baghdad Battery, as a symbol of lost knowledge, makes you ponder other artifacts that might indicate a high degree of understanding of nature and physical principles by people who lived in those distant times. You imagine that in the depths of history, there are hidden devices that could change our perception of past epochs. Perhaps, in forgotten corners of the earth, there are mechanisms similar to the Baghdad Battery, which could produce not only electricity, but also other forms of energy that were previously beyond our comprehension. How could ancient people use such technologies which seemed to be beyond their capabilities? You realize that this might not be just a coincidence, but part of a more complex system of knowledge and understanding, of which we are only beginning to grasp. Perhaps they had an intuitive sense of the laws of nature, which today seem complex and confusing. This fills you with a sense of awe and admiration when you think about how ancient engineers could skillfully use the world around them to create devices that harmoniously fit into their lives. You wonder which technologies might have been misinterpreted by archaeologists or researchers who couldn't see the true essence of those creations. Perhaps some artifacts currently in museums are waiting for their moment to reveal their secrets and show that ancient civilizations were much more advanced than we can imagine. It's as if invisible threads connect you to these people as you contemplate how their experiences could change our understanding of history. Maybe these artifacts tell not only about technology, but also about culture, philosophy, and interaction with the world around them. You feel this stream of thought filling you with the passion of a researcher eager to unravel the mysteries of the past. You understand that each discovery, even the smallest one, can be a key to understanding a broader picture that connects all peoples and civilizations. With each new discovery, there is a possibility of realizing that the knowledge and technologies we possess today may have their roots in antiquity, and perhaps even in something we have not yet discovered. Like a river flowing through time, these ideas smoothly transition into one another, creating an endless stream of discoveries and moments of understanding that can illuminate your thoughts and immerse you in a state of deep tranquility. You imagine that perhaps in the depths of the earth, beneath layers of time and history, lie the answers to questions that have troubled humanity for centuries. This realization fills you with reverence for those who came before, for their pursuit of knowledge and discoveries that continue to stir the minds of scientists and researchers. You realize that your connection to ancient civilizations is not just abstract, but deeply personal. For you, like them, strive to understand the world around you and find your place in this endless flow of time. You continue to delve into the world of historical mysteries as your attention returns to the Baghdad Battery. It is intriguing that not all researchers agree that this artifact was indeed used for generating electricity. Some propose alternative hypotheses that could open new horizons in your understanding of ancient technologies. You hear scientists discussing the possibility that the Baghdad Battery might have been nothing more than a container for scrolls or other important items that played a significant role in rituals or daily life. You imagine scrolls of parchment inscribed with ancient writings, preserving knowledge and wisdom from the past. This perspective allows you to view the artifact from a new angle, recognizing that it could serve not only practical purposes, but also as a symbol of cultural heritage that united people in their quest for knowledge. Perhaps it was not just a battery, but a kind of sacred vessel, holding stories and traditions that connected generations. These thoughts enrich your perception of history, showing you that each discovery can be multifaceted and complex. You ponder what the scrolls might have looked like and how their contents could have influenced the lives of those who read them. Your imagination paints pictures of ancient scholars and priests who might have used the Baghdad Battery to store sacred texts, passing them down through generations. This rekindles a sense of connection to past times and people who sought to preserve their knowledge and beliefs. You realize that the true value of the artifact may lie not only in its physical characteristics, but also in what it symbolizes: the pursuit of understanding the world, the search for answers to complex questions that have always intrigued humanity. These reflections lead you to a state of deep tranquility, as you understand that history is not just about facts and dates, but also about emotions, experiences, and the aspirations of people who once lived on this earth. Perhaps in this context, the Baghdad Battery becomes not just an object of study, but a true bridge between the past and the present, connecting you with those who lived in those distant times. You wonder what other mysteries history holds and how your curiosity can be the key to unraveling them. Your soul fills with warmth and peace as you realize that every new look at familiar artifacts can lead to astonishing discoveries that enrich your perception of the world and allow you to see it in a new light. You continue to delve into the mysterious world of the Baghdad Battery, and your imagination begins to paint new pictures that enrich your understanding of ancient civilizations. This battery, which has become a symbol of archaeological mysteries, evokes in you unending questions about the technological capabilities of people who lived thousands of years ago. You envision what society might have looked like in those distant times using such devices. Perhaps they knew about the properties of electricity and used it to create amazing things, of which we are only beginning to grasp. All these reflections create in your mind a landscape where technology and culture intertwine, forming a unique fabric of human experience. You feel that each step on this path opens new horizons, allowing you to ponder how science and spirituality could coexist in the ancient world. The Baghdad Battery reminds you that every discovery by historians and archaeologists can not only change our understanding of the past, but also inspire new ideas about the future. You realize that the Baghdad Battery is not just an artifact, but a whole universe of questions and possibilities that drive you to explore and seek answers. Moreover, you understand that immersing yourself in the study of such mysteries is not just about learning, but also about becoming part of humanity's great journey. Our pursuit of knowledge, understanding, and the discovery of the wondrous world around us. Your soul fills with awe at the thought that every detail, every element of history can tell its unique story, and each step on this path can lead to new discoveries that broaden your horizons. The Baghdad Battery continues to be a captivating archaeological enigma, shining like a beacon in the darkness of uncertainty, inspiring researchers and history enthusiasts to new discussions and searches. You feel that this mystery, shrouded in secrecy, challenges traditional notions of ancient technologies and makes you consider how much more we still have to learn about our past. In this state of tranquility, you delve into thoughts about the importance of staying open to new ideas and how every discussion can be a key to understanding deeper layers of our history. The Baghdad Battery, with its myriad interpretations and meanings, remains a symbol of how science and history can intersect, opening before us a magical world of ancient discoveries and technologies. You allow yourself to enjoy this moment, realizing that perhaps every mystery, like the Baghdad Battery, is a reminder that the human pursuit of knowledge is an endless path leading to new discoveries and understanding. This relic is housed in the heart of Italy, in the city of Turin, where its long linen cloth is carefully wrapped and protected from the ravages of time. You imagine how this cloth, impervious to time, holds within it secrets that have captivated human minds for centuries. On its surface, as if emerging from the depths of time, a faint image of a man crucified like Jesus Christ appears, evoking a sense of awe and wonder. You feel your soul fill with a quiet tremor as you realize that you are in the presence of an object that has become a symbol of faith, hope, and profound contemplation of human nature. The Shroud of Turin is one of the most mysterious and controversial relics in the world, and many questions about its origin and significance remain unanswered. How did this cloth, perhaps, touch the very body of Christ? You notice how historians and scientists continue to study it, as if trying to decipher an ancient code left for future generations. You can almost hear the whispers of these researchers using modern technologies to try to understand how this extraordinary image could have been created. Some claim it is a work of art created in the Middle Ages, while others believe it is indeed the imprint of Christ's body left on the cloth after his baptism. These debates and research create an aura of mystery around the Shroud of Turin that captivates your imagination. You picture quiet rooms where fabric samples are stored, laboratories where analyses are conducted, and people like yourself striving to unravel this mystery. Your imagination paints scenes of evenings when scientists gather to discuss new findings and theories, making this place a hub of discussions and discoveries. You feel that by delving into this topic, you are not just studying a relic, but becoming part of a historical dialogue that has been ongoing for centuries. You understand that the Shroud of Turin is not just an artifact, but a whole world of questions, reflections, and faith that continues to inspire people to seek meaning, hope, and belief. Each glance at the Shroud of Turin, each detail of its image, can evoke new emotions. And perhaps you begin to realize that in this image lies not only history, but also your own connection to eternity. This relic becomes for you a symbol of an endless search that people have pursued throughout their history, trying to understand what lies behind the mysteries of life and death. You allow yourself to be immersed in this atmosphere where science and faith intertwine, creating a unique context for reflection and discovery. And in this moment, you understand that every mystery, like the Shroud of Turin, is not just a question to be answered, but also an opportunity for deep self-reflection and the search for one's place in this vast world. You can imagine a long linen cloth measuring 4 4/10 meters by 1 1/10 meter, neatly spread out before you. Its texture, soft and slightly ribbed, seems to whisper stories preserved in every thread. You see how a faint, almost monochrome image of a full-length man appears on this cloth, visible from both the front and the back, as if his likeness is forever imprinted in this material. Your gaze moves over the details of the image, and you begin to notice signs of wounds that seem to recount the sufferings mentioned in the Gospels. Your heart stops as you see the lashes on his body and the deep marks left by the crown of thorns on his forehead. Each of these images, each detail, is a trace that confirms historical and religious accounts of Christ's sufferings. You can almost feel the warmth of the air filling the space around you, and you sense that time stands still as you attend to these visual narratives. The bruises, dark and vivid, seem to come alive on the cloth, creating a sense of reality that cannot be ignored. You realize that every line and every shadow on this cloth is not just an image, but a symbol of deep suffering and sacrifice. This imprint, preserving traces of pain and passion, evokes a sense of respect and awe as you understand that it has become a kind of window into the past, connecting you to events that occurred more than 2,000 years ago. You pause to immerse yourself more deeply in this atmosphere, feeling how your thoughts and feelings intertwine with the history etched into the fabric. You see how the details of the image, despite their age, stir vivid emotions in you, and how they become a catalyst for reflections on human nature, suffering, and hope. You realize that the Shroud of Turin is not just an artifact, but a deep symbol that continues to inspire and touch hearts, stirring a desire to understand and empathize. As you approach this cloth, you feel as if you are becoming a part of its history, part of this unique dialogue between past and present that continues in every glance at the Shroud of Turin. You allow yourself to be absorbed into this atmosphere where science and faith intertwine, creating a unique context for contemplation and discovery. And in this moment, you realize that every feature of the image is not just a visual element, but an opportunity for deep introspection and finding one's place in this vast world. You continue your journey through the centuries, delving into the history of the Shroud of Turin, and this journey leads you to the hidden corners of the ancient world. It begins with the mysterious image of Edessa, known as the Mandilion, which, according to legend, was created not by human hands, but by Christ himself. You can almost hear the whisper of history as you imagine this image, carved onto a cloth, becoming the first testimony of divine presence, its traces leading to countless legends and beliefs. This sacred artifact, perhaps, was kept in Edessa, a city in the east, and it was from there that its journey began when, in the early 4th century, it was moved to Constantinople. You can almost hear the hushed whispers of pilgrims from all corners of the world coming to venerate this wondrous image. As you continue to reflect, you move to the moment when the shroud, perhaps, became part of the Lyre Shroud, which appeared in France, and you feel as if time stands still as this history intertwines with other beliefs and rituals, preserving the spirit of devotion and veneration. You notice how each version, each of its stories, creates a rich palette of meanings and symbols, as if guiding you to seek the truth among many interpretations. As you delve deeper into the centuries, you realize that the path of the Shroud of Turin was not direct. It moved from one country to another, leaving behind many questions and mysteries. In the 16th century, when the shroud finally arrived in Turin, you feel as if its history is filled with new colors, and the shroud itself becomes not just an artifact, but a symbol of faith, passion, and humans striving for understanding. You slow your pace to immerse yourself in thoughts about how this cloth has passed through the centuries, becoming a witness to historical events, wars, peaceful periods, and religious disputes. Each mention of the shroud, each of its movements, is a step on the path to its current state, full of mysteries. You notice that among this history, there are many gaps and controversial points, adding to its mystique. Scholars still debate its origins, how it was created, and what role it plays in various religious traditions. You allow yourself to ponder how such a mysterious and contradictory history could remain relevant for so many centuries, inspiring awe, doubt, and deep faith in millions of people. In this journey through the centuries, you realize that the Shroud of Turin is not just an artifact or relic, but a symbol that continues to inspire and unite people despite all the disputes and disagreements. This cloth has become a bridge between the past and the present, connecting faith, history, and art into one whole. You feel as if this history, full of mysteries and discoveries, invites you to continue your journey, delving deeper into the secrets it holds. You continue your meditative journey, immersing yourself in the inexplicable nature of the image on the Shroud of Turin. This canvas, which has captivated minds and hearts for centuries, is remarkable because the image on it is not a simple drawing created by hand or paint. You feel a surge of curiosity as you realize that its uniqueness lies in the fact that it is formed by surface changes in the linen fibers, resulting from a process known as corona discharge or desiccation. This discovery leaves you in awe as it raises numerous questions. How is this possible? How could such an image have appeared if the known methods of the Middle Ages cannot explain its origin? You feel as if flowers of mysteries are blooming around you, each whispering its secrets. This image, which you see, seems like a ghost, shrouded in history, and it has never been explained by conventional scientific techniques. You notice how this fact creates an invisible thread that connects you with those who both scorn and are fascinated by this artifact. Your imagination begins to paint pictures in which you see countless scientists, historians, researchers, and ordinary people trying to unravel this mystery, challenging time and tradition. You can almost hear their lively discussions filled with hopes and doubts as they debate how this image could have appeared, looking so real as if it were created just a moment ago. Reflecting on this, you look again at the canvas and feel how its presence fills the space around you with a special atmosphere. You realize that this is not just a piece of cloth, but something more, an object of veneration, a symbol of faith and hope that has inspired people for centuries. Scholars still argue about the true origin of the shroud, and this only adds to its mystery and allure. You can imagine each new researcher contributing their theories, dreams, and hopes to this endless journey that never ceases to amaze. You allow yourself to ponder how this inexplicable nature of the image on the shroud reflects not only the mysteries of history, but also the deep enigmas of the human soul. You understand that in this image lies something more than just visual elements. It takes your breath away and awakens in you a desire to seek answers, to understand what lies beyond our perception. Perhaps it is this very mystery, this unsolved enigma, that makes the Shroud of Turin such a powerful symbol that unites people of different cultures and beliefs. You find yourself in a state of complete tranquility and serenity, realizing that despite all the questions, all the mysteries, and all the disputes, this shroud continues to exist, continues to inspire and stir the hearts of people, remaining a timeless reminder that life is full of wonders and mysteries that we can only try to understand and explore. You continue your meditative journey, delving into the history of the first photographs of the Shroud of Turin, which became a true breakthrough in understanding this enigmatic artifact. In 1898, Italian photographer Secondo Pia decides to take a step into the unknown and capture this ancient cloth on film. You can almost feel the excitement that grips him as he sets up his camera, pointing the lens at the fabric shrouded in centuries of history and mysteries. Pia employs a unique technique for his time, and when he develops the film, his expectations are exceeded by surprise. The image on the negative is not just a simple print, but a true positive, three-dimensional, and incredibly detailed. You can imagine his heart stopping in awe as he sees the features of a face seemingly coming to life before his eyes. This discovery becomes a sensation, sparking intense debates among scholars, religious leaders, and ordinary people. You can sense the tension in the air as discussions about the authenticity of the shroud become even more heated. Some people begin to believe that this image is a genuine photographic reproduction of Christ, and this fact strengthens their faith and hope. You feel the excitement and conviction in the authenticity of the artifact, filling the space around you, like warm sunlight breaking through clouds. This photograph becomes more than just an image. It is a symbol of faith that unites people from different cultures and religions, making them ponder the profound questions of life and death. Secondo Pia, unaware of the role he is playing, becomes part of this extraordinary process that inspires many to continue their research and seek answers to questions that remain unanswered. You can feel how these first photographs, taken over a century ago, continue to influence minds and hearts, inspiring people to search for the truth in this mysterious artifact. Each new negative, each new photograph taken later, only emphasizes the uniqueness of the shroud, its ability to evoke wonder and reverence. You realize that these are not just images, but a whole story that continues to evolve and enrich itself with new discoveries and theories, creating an aura of mystery and enchantment around it. Your soul fills with a sense of awe as you witness the union of the art of photography with history, creating new opportunities for understanding and interpreting this ancient artifact. You allow in all who seek to unravel the mysteries of the past. You continue your meditative journey, delving into the world of scientific research that seeks to unravel the mysteries of the Shroud of Turin. You imagine scientists, inspired by the first photograph by Secondo Pia, immersing themselves in the study of this enigmatic artifact, striving to understand how and when this unique image was created. In 1978, the STURP project begins, involving a team of 30 experts, chemists, physicists, historians, and artists. You can almost feel the tension in the air as they gather in Turin to examine the shroud using the latest technologies. It seems as if each of them realizes they stand on the threshold of a discovery that could change our understanding of history. They employ various analytical methods, including spectroscopy and radiography, to study the fabric's fibers and the chemical properties of the image. You hear them discussing the results, which, while revealing many new facts about the shroud, do not provide definitive answers about its origin. With each new test, your curiosity grows, as the results indicate that the image could not have been created with ordinary paints or pigments, adding more questions to the existing ones. In 1988, radiocarbon dating of tissue samples dates the shroud to the period between 1260 and 1390 AD. You feel it's as if time and space warp around you, creating a sense that you are in a place where reality and myth intertwine. This contradiction makes you ponder the nature of faith and what truly makes artifacts sacred. Each new argument and discovery sparks your desire to delve deeper, and you realize that this cloth is not just a subject of research, but a symbol that unites people in their quest to understand their history and faith. You allow yourself to be absorbed in these thoughts, feeling images filled with light and mysteries that surround the shroud arise in your consciousness. You continue your journey, delving into the world of counter-arguments that question the results of radiocarbon dating of the Shroud of Turin. You imagine the passionate advocates of its authenticity presenting compelling arguments, emphasizing that the results, which date it to the period between 1260 and 1390 AD, could be skewed. You almost feel their fervor and determination as they explain that the fabric's fibers could have been contaminated by numerous fires the shroud endured, leaving traces that could affect research outcomes. You hear them discuss how materials used during various historical restorations could have introduced new elements into the fabric, influencing radiocarbon dating. You realize that even bioplastic film formed by bacterial growth could distort the results, adding layers of complexity to understanding the shroud's true age. With each new argument, your curiosity grows, as these points make you reflect on the importance of considering the entire history of the artifact, its journey through the centuries, and the influences it has faced. The debates over the accuracy of dating continue to this day, and you feel the question becoming not just scientific, but philosophical, provoking thoughts about the nature of time and memory. You can almost sense the tension in the air as researchers discuss the possibility that the shroud could have been used later, adding another layer to its convoluted history. You notice how these debates, filled with passion and a desire for truth, unite people seeking to unravel the mysteries of their faith and heritage. You allow yourself to dive deeper into these reflections, feeling images filled with light and enigmas surrounding this unique artifact emerge in your mind. Your heart fills with respect for those who tirelessly seek answers, even when apparent facts may not be as straightforward as they seem. You feel your heart beating in sync with the rhythm of this endless discourse, which continues to stir minds and hearts worldwide, uniting people in their quest to understand what the Shroud of Turin truly is. You continue your journey, delving into hypotheses about the miraculous or extraordinary origin of the image on the Shroud of Turin. You imagine researchers and theologians discussing the possibility that this image could have been created at the moment of Christ's resurrection, when something truly unique and transcendent occurred. You feel the atmosphere filling with anticipation as scientists propose a theory about a powerful energy impulse that could have burned the image onto the cloth, as if nature itself had recreated the moment of divine intervention. The idea that the image is not the result of human effort, but rather a gift from above, fills you with a deep sense of connection to history and faith. You hear proponents of this theory describe how such an impulse could have occurred due to an unknown radiation, possibly from a moment when Christ rose from the dead. You realize that this explanation, though it seems incredible, gives the relic a mystical and religious dimension, inspiring awe and wonder. Your imagination paints pictures of ancient events, when perhaps the heavens opened and the light of divine power touched the earth, leaving a trace on the cloth that we can see today. You wonder what it might have looked like, a bright light piercing through time, imprinting invisible spiritual experiences on the fibers. You reflect on how this relic serves not only as a historical artifact, but also as a symbol of hope and faith for millions of people. You may feel your heart filled with respect for those who believe in the divine origin of this image and strive to preserve it as a holy relic. Your soul is filled with a sense of connection to those who, for centuries, have sought meaning and truth in this artifact, which has been the center of controversy, but also a source of inspiration. You understand that this theory about the mystical origin of the image on the shroud opens doors to a world of wonders, where science and faith can intertwine, creating new horizons for contemplation and debate. You allow yourself to immerse in these ideas, feeling them fill your consciousness with light and hope, creating an atmosphere of tranquility in which you can continue your reflections on the miracles that surround us. You feel how this understanding helps you to grasp more deeply the connection that exists between past and present, between humanity and the divine, and how this connection can continue to inspire and guide you on your own journey through life. You continue your journey, immersing yourself in the extraordinary properties of the image on the Shroud of Turin. Pay attention to how this image, seemingly possessing three-dimensional qualities, evokes both awe and bewilderment. As you gaze upon it, you begin to realize that it contains information that allows for the creation of a precise three-dimensional model of the face and body depicted on the cloth. You can imagine how scientists, using modern technologies, create three-dimensional models based on these details. And you wonder how this could be possible, knowing that such a feat would have been impossible with medieval technology. You become intrigued by the method used to create such a complex image. You ponder the need for a unique light source at an infinite distance, capable of projecting light in such a way as to convey not only flat details, but also three-dimensional ones. This thought fills you with a sense of profound amazement, as such scientific knowledge was not available during the time the shroud was created. You can feel your imagination painting pictures where light, like a magical beam, penetrates through the layers of time, leaving traces on the cloth that we can see and feel today. You notice how each detail of the image, every fold of the cloth, every curve of the body seems to tell a story, and you feel that this is not just an artifact, but something more. A window into the past that connects you to events that occurred thousands of years ago. You begin to understand that studying the three-dimensional properties of the image on the shroud not only deepens your understanding of art, but also opens new horizons for contemplation about the interconnection of science and history. This remarkable blend of facts and hypotheses fills your mind with new ideas, allowing you to reflect on how little we truly know about the world and what happened in the past. You allow yourself to enjoy this atmosphere where science and faith intertwine, creating unique opportunities for reflection and discovery. In this moment, you realize that your journey is just beginning to reveal new horizons, filled with wonders and mysteries waiting to be uncovered. You continue your journey of exploration, delving into the world of mysteries and secrets that surround the Shroud of Turin. This relic, seemingly woven from the very fabric of time, remains one of the most studied yet enigmatic. You feel your consciousness filled with questions about what truly happened in those distant times when this cloth was created. You realize that millions of people around the world, like you, gaze at this relic with awe and reverence, striving to unravel its mysteries. This relic draws the attention of scientists, historians, and believers, each seeking to understand its significance. You experience an extraordinary fusion of science and faith, opening new avenues in the study of history and culture. As you continue to ponder, it becomes clear that the Shroud of Turin is not just an artifact, but a living testament to time, holding within it countless stories and enigmas. You allow yourself to sink into this state of wonder and curiosity, acknowledging that each new discovery only underscores the complexity and richness of our world. You feel the breath of history entering you, filling you with serenity and a sense of unity with those who sought truth before you. On this, you continue your journey, and a new chapter in human history unfolds before you. A sense of gentle excitement fills your heart as you delve into the world of Göbekli Tepe, one of the most extraordinary archaeological discoveries of our time. You imagine the rugged plateau in southeast Turkey, where excavations began in the 90s, becoming a real sensation. This mysterious piece of land, hidden beneath layers of soil and time, remained unknown until it was discovered by a team of archaeologists led by Klaus Schmidt. You feel the spirit of discovery in the air as they begin to uncover stone structures that will redefine our understanding of early human societies. Each new layer of earth reveals ancient secrets, and with each artifact found, your interest grows. Göbekli Tepe, as you will learn, is not just a place where people gathered. It is a sanctuary built over 12,000 years ago, long before the known civilizations of Mesopotamia. This information strikes you. You begin to realize that civilizations, as we know them, did not arise alone, but after people had already begun to develop complex social structures, uniting for something greater than mere survival. You feel this discovery makes you see human history in a new light, understanding that Göbekli Tepe was not just a place of worship, but also a significant center of social life, highlighting the complexity and multifaceted nature of human nature. You can almost hear the whispers of those who once conducted rituals here, feeling their spiritual presence in every stone meticulously carved. These massive T-shaped stone pillars, adorned with carvings, seem to you not just artifacts, but true witnesses of time, holding countless stories. You feel your imagination painting pictures of those distant days when people gathered around this sanctuary, sharing stories and dreams of the future, forging new connections and strengthening their communities. You see the stones begin to shimmer in the morning sun, and it seems as if they come to life, telling their stories. You breathe deeply, absorbing the atmosphere of this sacred place, and feel the world around you fill with peace and harmony, as if time itself slows down, allowing you to savor every moment of this extraordinary journey. You continue to explore this remarkable place and realize that the age of Göbekli Tepe places it in a unique position among archaeological discoveries. You understand that this date predates many well-known monuments, including Stonehenge, which was built 6,000 years later, and the pyramids of Giza, which appeared 7,000 years later. You can imagine how German archaeologist Klaus Schmidt and his team, conducting excavations on this plateau in the 90s, uncovered not just stone structures, but an entire epoch filled with mysteries and secrets. Each of their steps on this sacred ground reminds you of the importance of preserving and studying our history to understand where we come from. You feel a sense of awe when you realize that Göbekli Tepe was not just a temple, but a place where ideas, rituals, and perhaps even the first forms of communal life were born. Each massive T-shaped pillar, adorned with enigmatic carvings, seems to whisper its historical secrets to you, telling of ancient people who may have sought answers to eternal questions about life and death, the divine and the earthly. You slowly walk between these stones, and it's as if you become a part of this ancient history, feeling the sacred spirit that fills the air. You pause for a moment, letting your thoughts and feelings sink into this magical place, feeling as if time loses its meaning and you are part of something great and eternal. You continue to immerse yourself in the atmosphere of Göbekli Tepe and begin to notice details that make this place even more mysterious and intriguing. The architectural structure of the sanctuary is awe-inspiring in its scale and elegance. You see massive T-shaped megalithic pillars that seem to guard this sacred space. Each of these stones weighs up to 20 tons, and you can only imagine how ancient people managed to move and place them in such an orderly fashion. These pillars are arranged in concentric circles, creating a sense of a sacred center where people gathered to share their thoughts, rituals, and beliefs. As you approach, you notice intricate and detailed carvings on the surface of these monoliths that seem to come to life under your gaze. Here you see foxes gracefully sliding across the stone, snakes writhing with mysterious grace, and boars with their powerful bodies, as well as birds soaring in the skies, each one holding its own secrets and stories. These carved images are so realistic that you can almost hear the rustle of their paws and the hissing, as if they are ready to come to life at any moment. Carefully examining the symbols, you notice abstract forms that may mean more than just animal images. They speak of a deep understanding of nature, of the unity of man with the surrounding world. You picture people of that time sitting in a circle, discussing the meaning of these symbols, sharing their fears and hopes. The megaliths of Göbekli Tepe become for you not just stones, but living witnesses to the culture and spirituality that once reigned in this sanctuary. As you continue to explore the Göbekli Tepe sanctuary, you suddenly realize an astonishing paradox that arises when contemplating its construction. In this place, surrounded by vast fields and hills, you understand that this monumental complex was built by people who led a lifestyle as hunter-gatherers, which completely contradicts the traditional perception of human civilization's evolution. You notice how your heart stops in awe of the magnitude and scale of this project, which was undertaken in an era preceding agriculture, settlement, and writing. How could these primitive tribes, living in constant migration, have organized such a complex construction? You feel this question gripping your mind, creating a space for wonder and reflection. Archaeologists still cannot agree on many aspects of Göbekli Tepe, and you realize that this opens doors to numerous theories and debates. You can almost feel the researchers studying this ancient monument asking questions about the social structure of these societies. How could they have united and combined their efforts to achieve such a grand task? You imagine groups of people possibly gathering here to exchange ideas, rituals, and knowledge, laying the foundation for future civilizations. Each stone you see becomes not just a part of the structure, but a symbol of unity and cooperation that could have existed among people striving for a common spiritual experience. These pillars, like guardians of ancient secrets, seem to you not just architectural elements, but testimonies to deep human connections and aspirations. You begin to understand that Göbekli Tepe may not only be a sanctuary, but also a place where ideas were formed that later led to the creation of the first cities and societies. You feel a deep sense of respect for the people who could achieve such feats despite their limited resources and technologies of the time. These thoughts envelop you, creating an atmosphere of deep understanding and wonder at what the world was like 1,000 years ago. You listen intently to this inner dialogue, allowing yourself to feel a connection with those who left their mark on history, and with those who still seek answers to questions about their origins and place in this vast world. You may even feel as if time loses its boundaries, and you become a part of this great flow of human history, where each moment is significant, and every discovery fills you with new impressions and awareness. You continue to immerse yourself in the atmosphere of Göbekli Tepe, and your attention is drawn to the theory of Klaus Schmidt, who offers a remarkable perspective on the purpose of this ancient complex. Before you lies a hypothesis that asserts Göbekli Tepe was the first temple complex in human history, a place where people gathered for rituals and assemblies before the advent of the first cities. You feel a sense of awe as this idea fills you with reverence, for it suggests that religious practices may have preceded a settled way of life. You imagine nomadic people finding in this sanctuary not only physical space but also spiritual refuge. Each stone, each image on the pillars becomes a symbol of profound beliefs and rituals that united people into a single community. You can almost hear the whispers of ancient prayers that may have echoed here when people gathered to celebrate life cycles, the change of seasons, and significant social events. This concept creates in your mind an image of people, despite their nomadic lifestyle, seeking stability and meaning in spiritual practices. You realize that Göbekli Tepe could have been a place where ideas about the divine were formed, where rituals served not only to connect with higher powers, but also to strengthen social bonds. You can picture groups gathering around these stones, exchanging not only physical resources, but also knowledge, beliefs, and culture. This creates in your heart a sense of unity and connection with those who lived here thousands of years ago. You begin to understand that religious practices could have been the glue that united various groups, forming the basis for future societies. You notice how this idea gives you a new understanding of human history. Perhaps it was faith and spiritual practices that acted as catalysts, leading to the development of settled life and agriculture. Your mind is filled with images of ancient people gathering around these majestic pillars, seeking not only answers to eternal questions, but also a sense of belonging to something greater. This feeling of belonging and shared purpose, no doubt, contributed to the formation of the first communities and then the first cities. You allow yourself to be absorbed in this thought, to grasp the realization that Göbekli Tepe became not just an architectural marvel, but also a symbol of humanity's quest for understanding and unity. This place becomes a significant milestone in your understanding of how religion and faith could have been the foundation for the formation of a society that grew beyond mere nomadic existence. You feel how this idea fills you with deep respect for those who, perhaps for the first time, pondered the greater meaning of life and how to connect their fates with others. Each of your breaths becomes deeper, and you allow yourself to feel how these thoughts create space for novelty and discovery in your own understanding of human history. You continue to delve into the magic of Göbekli Tepe, and your attention is drawn to the symbolism inherent in the images adorning the stone pillars of this ancient complex. Each symbol, each figure, is more than just a carving in stone. It is a language speaking of beliefs and a deep understanding of the world that surrounded these people. You notice how animal images, such as foxes, snakes, and birds, may not be merely illustrations of local fauna, but also reflections of spiritual symbols representing the forces of nature and life cycles. This profound symbolism fills you with a sense that the ancient craftsmen, creating these images, sought to convey knowledge and wisdom to future generations. You can imagine them gathering, discussing the meanings of these figures, believing that every line and curve bore a specific significance that could connect them with the heavens and the earth. Your imagination paints pictures of these people, perhaps gazing at the stars and seeking answers in their constellations, and you begin to realize that Göbekli Tepe could have been not only a place of worship, but also an observatory where astronomical knowledge intertwined with religious practices. You feel as if the soft rays of the moon and the bright stars become part of your imagined journey, and you understand that some structures of the complex could have been oriented in relation to astronomical phenomena, such as equinoxes and solstices. This thought fills you with awe, as it suggests that the people who inhabited this place could have possessed advanced knowledge of celestial cycles, which they used for planning their rituals and agricultural activities. You can almost feel them marking important moments in their calendar based on the movements of celestial bodies, helping them synchronize their actions with the cycles of nature. You notice how these ancient knowledge could be passed down from generation to generation, creating a culture based on deep respect for the cycles of life and death, for the changes that occur in nature. Thus, Göbekli Tepe becomes not just a place for rituals, but also a symbol of the interconnection between humans and the cosmos, a place where astronomy and religion intertwine, creating a unique fabric of life. You allow yourself to linger in this feeling, understanding that the ancient people did not just survive in their world, but also sought meaning in it, striving to understand their place under the stars. Each breath you take fills you with a sense of connection to these ancestors, who may have looked at the same moon you see and asked the same questions about life and the universe. This connection to the past helps you feel the grandeur of the human spirit, which has always sought knowledge and understanding, and you realize that Göbekli Tepe is not only an architectural enigma, but also a deep metaphor for humanity's quest for understanding, for finding its place in the vast cosmos. You continue your journey into the world of Göbekli Tepe, and your attention is drawn to the mystery surrounding the deliberate burial of this extraordinary complex. You feel the enigma that surrounds this place deepening as you realize that approximately 1,000 years after its construction, The magnificent stone structures were meticulously covered with earth. This act, which seems paradoxical at first glance, raises many questions. Why did the ancient people who created such a grand achievement decide to bury it under layers of earth? You can imagine them gathering around these monoliths, which became the center of their spiritual and social worldview. And then their world turned upside down when they decided to conceal this heritage. You notice that this could be connected to ritual practices, possibly an attempt to protect sacred places from destruction or oblivion. In your imagination, you see people who may have conducted ceremonies dedicated to the earth, believing that this way they preserved their connection with ancestors and spirits. This thought fills you with awe, as it suggests that the burial was not just a physical act, but a symbol of transition to a new stage in their life and culture. You can feel their mindset, rooted in the cycles of life and death, driving them to such a decision, as if they were seeking a way to close a chapter in history, paying homage to what was. At the same time, you begin to wonder if this was a hiding of something deeper. Perhaps in this action lies a desire to leave behind certain knowledge or secrets that, in their opinion, should remain unknown to future generations, as if they wanted to shield their sacred traditions from the influence of the external world, keeping them in the secret hidden within the earth. You feel the questions about what could have driven them to such a step filling your consciousness. Perhaps this connection with their experiences creates a deep sense of empathy and understanding in your heart. You continue to delve into this mystery, allowing yourself to ponder how the history, encapsulated in stones and earth, continues to speak to you through the centuries, creating a bridge between you and those who lived here thousands of years ago. Göbekli Tepe, this enigmatic complex, like magical gates, opens up new horizons of understanding human history before you. You feel the significance of this place extending far beyond its majestic stone structures. Each stone slab, each carved symbol on the rock whispers about the times when people began to realize their connection to nature, the sky, and each other. This place, built around 10,000 years ago, makes you ponder how Göbekli Tepe rewrites the history of human civilization. You understand that this discovery forces scientists to re-evaluate traditional views on societal development, suggesting that complex social structures, monumental construction, and religious beliefs could have emerged much earlier than previously. Thought. Your imagination paints pictures of ancient people gathering in this sacred place, not just creating architectural marvels, but also laying the foundations for social organization. You can almost feel them discussing their beliefs and rituals, creating a community based on shared values and experiences. You notice that Göbekli Tepe becomes a symbol not only of architectural genius, but also of social cohesion, which scientists previously did not suspect, asserting that such complex structures could only have emerged in more advanced societies where agriculture and settled life were already established. However, you feel that this complex is not just a place of worship, but a center of life, idea exchange, cultural interaction, and relationship building, which could have existed even before the first cities appeared. You realize that this place challenges your notions of progress and civilization, prompting you to think about how early people could have been more harmonious and connected to each other than previously believed. Perhaps they sought not only answers to existential questions, but also created a space where each person could become part of something greater than themselves, uniting with the community, sharing their faith and dreams. This discovery, like a soft light, penetrates your consciousness, reminding you that even in the darkest times, when humanity was just beginning its journey, there were moments when it united for common goals and beliefs. You feel how this magical complex becomes a link between you and ancient civilizations, creating an invisible thread that goes through time and space, connecting you to their experiences, hopes, and aspirations. In this light, every discovery related to Göbekli Tepe becomes not only scientific, but also a profound personal journey, immersing you in reflections on how we are all connected through endless cycles of time, and how even the oldest dreams can remain relevant, continuing to inspire and guide us forward. Excavations at Göbekli Tepe continue, and this enigmatic site continues to reveal its secrets like a mysterious puzzle. You feel the spirit of discovery in the air as archaeologists, equipped with modern technologies and methods, return to this ancient sanctuary to explore its depths. Each new season brings fresh finds, like raindrops filling a river of knowledge. You can imagine the researchers' excitement as they lift another stone, revealing something extraordinary. Ancient tools, remnants of ritual objects, or symbolic images that deepen your understanding of this place. These discoveries not only confirm previously made hypotheses, but also raise new questions, evoking a sense of thrilling anticipation. Scientists are still studying how this sanctuary emerged and what role it played in the lives of the people of that time. With each new discovery, there is an opportunity to re-evaluate how social connections were formed, what rituals might have been performed in this sacred space, and how people interacted with the surrounding nature. You can almost feel the echo of ancient voices discussing their ideas, hopes, and fears in the heart of Göbekli Tepe. The research not only deepens our understanding of the Neolithic period, but also shows how this complex could have been a place where the first communities were formed and new ideas emerged. Each element on the excavation site seems like a key to understanding, opening doors to a world where people sought meaning in their lives, created culture, and found unity. Scientists used the latest technologies, such as ground-penetrating radar, to explore underground structures that have not yet been discovered. You can picture them as magicians lifting the veil of secrecy, gradually uncovering hidden secrets. This creates a sense that Göbekli Tepe is not just a monument of the past, but a living field for research, where each discovery can change our understanding of human history. With each new report of finds and each new theory discussed by scientists, your connection to this place strengthens. This is not just a historical event, it is your personal journey into a world where people lived, dreamed, and created. You watch as Göbekli Tepe becomes a topic of international conferences, where scientists share their findings and ideas, creating a network of knowledge that crosses borders and unites people from different corners of the world. And each time you hear about new discoveries, your interest in this place deepens, igniting a desire to learn more about how our ancestors sought their place in the world. You feel that this is not just archaeology, it is an invitation to reflect on how we all, regardless of time and place, strive to understand our essence and our connections to others. And in this journey, you realize that Göbekli Tepe becomes a symbol not only of our history, but also of our shared human destiny, which continues in each of us. Göbekli Tepe remains one of the most captivating and mysterious archaeological discoveries, like a magical portal to a distant past. You feel as if this land, permeated with history, continues to challenge your assumptions about the ancient world. Each stone here, each carving on the massive columns, seems to hold secrets waiting to be revealed. Imagine stepping into a world where people not only survived, but also created rituals, ceremonies, and formed their views on life and death. Göbekli Tepe offers a new perspective on the birth of human civilization, making you ponder how our ancestors began to understand their place in this world. You can almost feel the energy of the ancient people who once stood on these sacred stones, filling your soul with a sense of connection to the distant past. Göbekli Tepe reminds us that human history is not a linear path, but a complex web of interconnections and interactions that have evolved over millennia. With each new discovery, you realize that this land holds not only physical remains, but also the spirit of those who lived here, their dreams and aspirations, their fears and hopes. Scientists continue to uncover new facts that can change your understanding of how people perceived their reality and created a culture that laid the foundation for modern society. You feel as if each element found on the dig site, like a star in the night sky, illuminates the path to understanding how yesterday's events shape our present. Göbekli Tepe becomes a symbol not only of our history, but also of our shared human destiny, which continues in each of us. And in this lies a special magic, inviting you to explore, learn, and understand. You continue your journey through the ages, and your mind is filled with images of the majestic pyramids of Giza, which, like sentinels of time, gaze at you from the heights of the sandy dunes. These colossal structures, built more than 4,000 years ago, captivate your gaze with their perfect proportions and mysterious legends that they hold. You can almost hear the sounds of construction, the ringing of hammer on stone, the breath of ancient people who labored to create this architectural marvel. The pyramids, each one not just a tomb for a pharaoh, but also a symbol of faith in the afterlife, tell of the ancient Egyptians' quest for immortality and harmony with the cosmos. Your soul is filled with respect for this cultural heritage as you realize that each of these stone giants is not only made of limestone, but also imbued with ancient wisdom and secrets. You continue your path towards Göbekli Tepe, where mysterious stone circles, like incantations, are meant to connect you with your ancestors who left their mark here. You notice that each of these places is a part of a vast puzzle that needs to be assembled to understand how civilization evolved, how rituals and beliefs were formed. You feel that this archaeological mosaic, consisting of the pyramids of Giza and Göbekli Tepe, demands not only your attention, but also a deep understanding. Each element, each discovery, is like a feather that adds weight to this compelling story. Traveling from one epoch to another, you understand that each of these places is not just a monument, but a living testimony to humanity's quest for knowledge, to create something greater than mere material objects. You feel that in every stone, in every carving, there are not just facts, but also the emotions, dreams, hopes of those who once lived here. It's as if the ancient people have left you a message that you not only hear, but also feel with your entire being. These places, full of mysteries, invite you not only to explore them, but also to reflect on your own place in this great history. You can imagine people gathering under the starry sky, by the light of the moon, sharing their thoughts and dreams about a future they could not even conceive. You realize that each discovery is not just a step towards scientific knowledge, but also an opportunity to connect with those who lived here before you, to feel their dreams and fears, their joys and sorrows. Each story, like a drop of water, contributes to the ocean of knowledge that continues to grow as you uncover new aspects of human history. The ancient stones of Göbekli Tepe and the magnificent pyramids are two sides of the same coin, together creating a comprehensive view of how we, modern people, continue to seek meaning in our existence, strive to understand who we are and where we came from. These places become not just archaeological finds, but an integral part of your inner world. Those very gates that connect past and present. Like a river flowing without obstacles, you journey with history, allowing it to reveal to you the mysteries and wonders that await discovery. You are filled with this sensation, and each new step on this land becomes for you not just a journey, but a profound experience that shapes your soul and fills it with meaning. As you continue your journey, your consciousness fills with new thoughts that, like a light fog, envelop your senses. You approach mysterious ruins that, like ancient guardians, stand sentinel over silence and tranquility. Each stone, weary from time, whispers its tales rich with secrets and wisdom. You notice the sun slowly descending, casting a soft golden light over everything, and its rays, filtering through the leaves of the trees, create magical patterns on the ground. The air is filled with a sweet scent of flowers, and as you inhale it, you feel your heart fill with serenity. Your soul, like a boat on calm waters, begins to drift with the current of history, opening new horizons before you. You wonder, what if these artifacts are merely fragments of a much larger puzzle? What if ancient civilizations possessed knowledge and technologies that we are only beginning to uncover? You can imagine your ancestors sitting by the fire, discussing their discoveries and dreaming of the future, of how their descendants would explore these lands. You realize that each of these places is not just a monument, but a living memory, waiting to be remembered. As you delve into the depths of your consciousness, you begin to feel a connection with those who lived here thousands of years ago. You sense their dreams and aspirations, their fears and joys entering your soul. This connection becomes a bridge between past and present, and you ask yourself, what if these artifacts are not just remnants of the past, but keys to understanding our destiny? You picture researchers, with each new discovery, inching closer to unraveling ancient mysteries, and your mind fills with curiosity. It's as if the very stones that form these magnificent structures guide you to understand that the answer lies not only in facts, but also in the emotions they evoke. You realize that in each of these places, there are not just knowledge, but also an emotional response that fills you with awe and reverence. You allow yourself to be immersed in these thoughts, and your heart fills with hope that the world we live in is full of wonders waiting to be discovered. This thought, like a gentle breeze, envelops you, and you feel your thoughts calm, your consciousness filled with light. You ask yourself again, how many more secrets lie hidden beneath the layers of earth, waiting for their moment to be revealed? These musings, like stars in the night sky, sparkle in your consciousness, and you understand that your journey has only just begun, with many discoveries yet to come.